I think it's Hey everybody, you're listening to the Total Basis podcast. I'm your host Felipe, and with me is my co-host for the evening, Noah Miller. Noah, how you doing this evening?
I'm great. How are you?
I've been better. I'm all right. This is the first episode of the 2026 year, by the way. I just realized I haven't done an episode since December of last year. Um, I don't know why. It just kind of happened that way. It's been super busy in my regular life and stuff, so maybe that's part of the reason. And as you may or may not know, I barely did any I didn't do as much research as I've done in the past. I didn't use a spreadsheet this year. I mean, I do have spreadsheets, but I didn't like religiously use them this year like I have in the past. So it feels weird to me, this baseball season so far, but we're almost done with our drafts, our slow drafts. You and I are part of two slow drafts. One is the Total Basis Podcast League because that's the name of the show. That's the name of the league. And then the other one is the Baseball Life League, named after the Baseball Life Facebook group, which is a keeper league. Noah, I believe you're in your second year, but you already had experience kind of playing that format that we utilize over at Fantrax. I guess the
Yeah.
first question I ask you is, how do you like it so far?
Definitely getting enjoying it more, especially I have a commissioner in other leagues that prefers Yahoo, and I'm realizing I like Fantrax a lot better.
There you go, another satisfied customer here. And for those who don't know, the Baseball Life League is a 12 by 12. Well, wait, how does it go? It's a semi-weekly 12 by 12 categories league, head-to-head league. Um, I know I kind of sound redundant there, but basically, what our first matchup runs Monday through Thursday, and then the second matchup of the week runs Friday through Sunday. Um, w- what else do we need to mention? When I say 12 by 12, it's 12 offensive categories, 12 pitching categories, including holds, including I don't know what's stat that we have to keep track of. Do you find the most interesting there, Noah?
I definitely think holds is one of the more interesting ones because hard to kind of figure out what relievers are going to be put into that eighth, seventh inning role to get the holds. It's not
Yeah.
really a guarantee with, and all those relievers that are usually in those spots, they're usually year to year performance. Like closers, their closers are pretty consistent, but those holds guys usually they're not. There aren't too many that are consistent every year.
Yeah, and it's hard to keep track of holds. No one knows how to define a hold. That's the other problem. I don't think Major League Baseball knows how to do it either. But it's possibly to be able to fill out that stat with like you mentioned these high leverage relief pitchers, and then usually these guys who get a lot of holds eventually become closers themselves. At least that's the trajectory that people tend to think of. And that I mean, yeah, if you really think about it, that's what ends up happening when the closer goes down or he gets shut down for inconsistent or they get sent down to AAA because he starts sucking again. They'll bring up the eighth, the seventh, or sixth inning guy who has a lot of holds, and now they become saves leaders, and now we get a new closer to deal with. And Also, this is I don't know how to describe. I call it a revolving door keeper league because the first year we kept three players. The second year, this is the second year that we're in. We now have six keepers that we needed to keep from last year's team, including five minor league baseball players. So a little bit of a short term and long term outlook there. And then next year we're gonna keep nine players, so three, six, nine, and then the year after we keep nine players, we go back to zero. We start fresh. We redraft, including our minor leaguers. So I like the idea of that little sense of urgency there, Noah. Instead, because some people when they think about minor leaguers and keepers, they're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna play for like 5 years from now." You know the old adage. He's five. His team is 5 years away from being 5 years away, and I kind of adopted this just from thinking about high school and college, right? Like a coach usually has 3 or 4 seasons to get his team together and see what you can make from that freshman class. With that being said, now that I kind of framed it that way, how do you like this format so far in only your second year? Like it? Don't like it? What do you think?
I'm liking it so far. I think learning how to draft after having keepers is different for me. I've never really dealt with keepers before, but I'm liking it. I like the minor league aspect of it too.
Yeah. That's and then of course for the other league we kind of adopted that, but you know, it's more of a The other league is a redraft league, but our keepers are our minor leaguers. We get to keep them for as long as they qualify as minor league players. So so yeah, I try to make things similar for both leagues, except that there's little nuances here. In this league, we need four starting pitchers, three relievers, and then one extra bonus pitcher. So I think in this baseball life league, you need to do a really good job of maintaining your what are they managing your pitching staff. So it kind of gives you that real life aspect, like what managers and general managers have to deal with on a day-to-day basis in real Major League Baseball. I kind of brought that over. I've asked before, hey, should we drop it down to three starting pitchers like we do in the Total Basis Podcast League? I brought that over to our commissioners. I brought it up with the rest of the league, and they tell me, no, just keep it the way it is. I'm like, you sure about that? Are you sure about that? All right. You know, I mean, I like to hear another opinion besides the one in my head here, but now I mean, you know that there's differences between this league and that league. There's minute, there's small, but there's differences, especially with pitching. I mean, what do you think? Do you prefer the four starting pitchers, or are you okay with the three starting pitchers that we have in the podcast league? If you're running a league, how would you like to see it?
I like both, but I know having an extra one definitely adds another strategy because you kind of you got to pick another guy that's not gonna hopefully tank your numbers
Yeah.
or look bad. So there's a little more strategy. You got to draft extra pitchers. I don't mind it.
Yeah, that's the big difference because in the other league you got to draft for more hitters because there's that extra outfield position, so you got
Yep.
to account for that. But in this league, you got to account for starting pitchers because you need, at the very least, you need four, and of course you need five. Theoretically, you could fill out five starting pitchers on any given weekly, on any given semi-weekly matchup. So, like you said, it does bring a different strategy. I know some people like to bring in extra relievers just in case, which I'm kind of conflicted about because it's kind of like cheating because those guys get the low rate stats. So that helps with your
Yeah,
rate
they'll let you
stats.
get rocked.
Well, that's also true. Yeah, yeah. It's still funny to see a guy with a 99.99 ERA after one game. Like, how am I gonna recover from this? So
Yeah.
anyway, let's get going. We're here to recap the draft. So it's still going on, but we're down to the last last round or so. We're almost done with it. We figure, well,
Yep.
we might as well get this one out of the way because we have another draft to deal with after this one is over with. And figure that we just do the annual recap for the Baseball Life League. Noah was nice enough to join up at the last minute. So here it is. I'm sharing my screen, Noah. And there you go. See, this is the way that Fantrax has the layout this year with three rounds in one. I don't know, how would you describe it? One page or one setting. I don't know. But here it is, round one. And after again, I have to emphasize six keepers, including five separate minor league players at the maximum that all these teams can keep. So Francisco Lindor ends up being the first pick overall. And I'm kind of shocked that he wasn't kept at all. What do you think of Francisco Lindor not being kept in this year's keeper class?
Yeah, you'd little surprising to see him not get kept. One of those caliber players you think would get kept. I don't know if I'm not really too sure of the timeline of his hamate bone injury. I don't know if that was announced before or after the draft, or before or
It was
after the
before. It was before.
deadline.
Yeah.
Was it before the deadline as well for keepers?
When was it? Was it March 6th, was it?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it March 5th. There's a hand issue. He had surgery in February, and Jet decided that he wasn't going to deal with that injury concern. And remember, I mean, Jet was the runner-up to last year's championship game. He lost to Aaron at the end. So I don't know what kind of team Jet had last year, but he must be pretty deep if he decides that Francisco Lindor is just an afterthought in his league. And I could probably go back and see what team he had and who was his keepers, but I don't want to waste too much time doing this because yeah, that's just
I'd be
yeah.
more curious when we get to his team. I'd be more curious to see who he decided to choose as a replacement for Lindor at shortstop
All right, let's take a look, I guess. Let's see. What's his
in that
team?
draft.
Poverty Pancake.
Yeah. Oh,
Jesus.
oh yeah, I forgot he's been auto drafting.
Yeah, and I feel for him. I'm just gonna say that I feel for him. Let's see, players that he might have kept. I can't tell. Mookie Betts, maybe. Yeah, I think Mookie Betts was kept. Um, I don't know. Was Valdez a keeper? Let me double check. Transaction fantasy. No, he was drafted in the first round this year by him. So what was okay? Brian Wu, maybe Brian Wu must have been kept, right?
You would think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, he was kept on September 20 of 2025. Well, that's weird. Why is it showing September 2025? Wow. Okay, so okay, we can safely say Brian Wu was kept. So that's a good choice. But I can't tell who else was drafted. I mean, yeah, I can't really tell. I
Back
know
up
I'm
to
no,
the hitters.
huh?
Go back up to the hitters.
Yeah, hitters, yeah.
Must have kept
Maybe
mostly hitters.
he's a
Maybe
Brewers.
he probably kept Contreras and Terang. I'm assuming.
Okay, that would he is a Brewers fan, so yeah, he kept
Yeah,
William Contreras. You said Bryce Terang, maybe that makes
yeah.
sense. Let's see. Transaction fantasy. Yeah, he kept Bryce Terang. So, like I said, Brewers homer, Brewers pick. Um, what did he keep Sal
Alex
Frelick
Frelick.
too? Don't tell me he kept Sal Frelick. He
That's
did. Wow. Okay. All Brewers all the time, and then Mookie must have been kept. So that this will make the fifth keeper right here. Yep. And then Brian Wu was a sixth keeper.
okay.
So yeah, and as you can see, the team is not very impressive. But who am I to question Jed? Every year I hate his draft, especially because it goes auto draft. But that's still
Mhm.
that's a queuing issue as well. And then he ends up making it to the championship game. So who am I to question what's right and what's wrong in this league? And that's the beauty about having all these categories to account for is that you can win in unconventional ways. I know, but some people would think that's kind of fluky and it's not legit. But I mean, that's why I have it like the way I have it, just so different philosophies can be utilized and different ways to build your team can lead to success and not just the same old, same old. That's my take on it. What do you think about that? Do you find it that in this league you can build your team however you want and still be competitive and maybe even win, or do you still think that the safest route is just to go conventional? Thoughts on any of that?
I mean, you can do what you think you might feel right. Everyone seems to have their own strategy and they have their own past experience of what worked and what didn't work for them prior years. Try to
Right.
change it up, or I don't know if I necessarily agree with keeping all your own team's players, some, but maybe it'll work out for them. Those
Yeah.
players seem to work out for them last year.
Yeah, that's for sure. And the second pick, Tyler Glass now, which I don't know. I mean, we will play this game already right off the bat because I feel like this was too early, especially when you compare it to the other draft. I think Tyler Glass now pretty went pretty late. I do got to remind myself that I got to add 6 rounds, so this is not really the first round; it's really the seventh round. It's the virtual seventh round, but still, I mean, there's Jesus Luzardo, Cole Reagans, Framber Valdez, and who went in the second, and then Kevin Gossman. George Kirby, Shota. Well, not Shota. I don't think Shota Imanaga would be better than Tyler Glass now. But yeah, I named you at least 5 or 6 pitchers, starting pitchers there. Would you have picked any of those other ones before getting to Tyler Glass now here?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I mean,
Who?
Glass now you love the idea of him pitching a full season, but that hasn't really happened.
Yeah.
If
Who
if
would
he can
who
pitch a full season, I would probably take. I don't think I'd take anyone over him if he could pitch a full season.
who would you have picked instead of Tyler Glass now of the names I just told you?
Let's see. I would probably would have gone with Gossman just because he gets innings almost every season. His
Hmm.
ERA I think is a little close to 4, but I think I would take him over. He gets the strikeouts too most years, so I would take him.
Yeah, every year I question Kevin Gausman, and especially with the Toronto Blue Jays, that's a very tough division to pitch in with Boston, Tampa, even Baltimore on the rise, and of course the New York Yankees and their little short ballpark. But don't tell it to Vince because he gets mad when you say that. And then
Mhm.
every year Kevin Gausman, all he does is produce, and he's been one of my favorite pitchers for a very long time now. But I just can't get myself to get Kevin Gausman in any league. I think I would have just gone with Jesus Luzardo over Tyler Glass now. I know Luzardo comes with
Yeah,
his own issues, but Luzardo proved that he can, um, what do you call it? Uh, get the volume and the big strikeouts. I mean, he's finally lived up to his potential last year. I mean, and he's done it before, 32 game starts in Miami as well. So it's not he's proven that he can go a full season. With any pitcher, it's always a risk, right? So I understand that. But yeah, I think Luzardo would have been the way to go. And I think he might be
for sure.
younger, right? He might be younger too. Let me see.
Has to be.
Where's the hell? Oh, there it is. The age. So, oh wow, Glasnow's already 32 years old. He'll be 33 in
Yeah, that was
August.
my guess for him.
I'm sorry, what?
832 was would have been my guess for Boss now.
Okay, and then Luzardo, Jesus, he's 28. When's his birthday? Okay, so he just turned 28. So yeah, 4 years younger. I mean, that's. I mean, to think about it in dog years. I mean, that's a big, big difference. And then Cole Reagans, I know he comes with injury risks, but
A
I
little
think,
bit. He was hurt a little bit last year.
yeah,
I know I had him either in this league or the other league,
and he
but
just
he's got good stuff too.
Yeah, of course. And he just turned 28. I know that, yeah, he did get hurt last year, but the year before, he did make it to 32 starts, just like Luzardo. The big strikeout numbers, the very minuscule ERA and whip. I know that he's had a tough time staying healthy, but I guess I'm kind of hypocritical for. Well, the other problem with the other problem with the Glass now is that he plays for the Dodgers. So this year, I'm avoiding all Dodgers starting pitchers. I don't think I have any Dodgers players on my team. Maybe Will Smith, although. I might be confusing this league with the other league at this point, so we'll see if I got jiggy with Will Smith in this one. But yeah, that's the problem is that the Dodgers they're playing for September and October, or yeah, October
Yep.
mostly. They have so much depth that it doesn't really matter what the regular. They can go on cruise control for the rest of the regular season and still win that division out west. So there's really no motivation. I mean, unless you think I'm wrong here, I'll give you a chance to respond to that. But in my opinion, I think that the Dodgers, if you drafting a starting pitcher for the Dodgers, you're in for a world of hurt because I don't think you're going to get the volume that you would need to be competitive in fantasy circles because the Dodgers are playing for September and October. Do you see it the same way? Am I overreacting? I mean, do you have any starting pitchers from the Dodgers this year? What's your take on that?
I feel like the only starting pitcher worth taking from the Dodgers this year is probably Yamamoto.
Mm,
I think he comes a little bit with injury concerns, but I feel like
yeah,
he might be worth it. The upside is worth it with how good he can be.
right. Yeah, and
I'd probably take him over Glass now. I'm sure he was probably a keeper in this league.
Yeah, more than likely. More than likely. I know he was a keeper in our points league as well. Moving on then, but no, I do agree with that sentiment. I think it's Yamamoto, and even then he's been pitching like crazy the last year or so, and being used in high leverage situations and short rest. So it just seems like the edge is about to get to him, and we're gonna start hearing about elbow bone chips and shoulder ligament issues and stuff like that. But there's another guy been kind of proven me wrong time and time again about his health, and he just stays healthy. And yeah, definitely would have kept Framber Valdez. I just think Valdez is built like a horse. And you mentioned Kevin Gossman, and then George Kirby is a control artist, so he's slowly but surely coming onto his own. The one thing that sucks about George Kirby is lack of strikeouts. So anyway, let's move on. Jazz Chisholm goes to the Yankee fans and James over there in Florida, Bronx Bombers. Jazz Chisholm in the third pick. We mentioned Luzardo. I went with Zach Neto, and I'm not quite. I was pretty excited because Neto he was going to be my sixth keeper, and then I changed my mind at the very last minute, and I went with Roman Anthony over Zach Neto. Which hey, if Roman Anthony is going to be hitting like he's been hitting in the World Baseball Classic, I'm a happy camper. So I'm good to go in that regard. But Zach Neto was pretty close to being my keeper. I know there was a discussion in one of the chats there during the draft, like why is Neto ranked ahead of guys like Francisco Lindor and Trey Turner, and I thought to myself, well, I'm not doing it. I mean, I like Zach Neto, but I don't think I could bring myself to rank him ahead of guys like Lindor and Trey Turner. But let's find out. I mean, I picked Zach Neto over hitters like Brent Rooker, Wyatt Langford, Michael Garcia. Remember when we thought Michael Garcia got off to a very fluky April and May last year, and then he just kept on producing, and now he's a first round pick in this league. But I remember that was a
Yeah.
big, yeah, that was a big issue last year. And Jackson Merrill. So I don't need any outfielders because my outfield is set with Jackson Churio, James Wood, and I just mentioned the guy Roman Anthony. So I don't need an outfielder, although it would have been nice to have a Brent Rooker or Wyatt Langford. But Zach Neto, again, was close to being uh my one of my keepers. I don't need a third baseman because I got Jose Ramirez unless I don't know what's your philosophy there. And I forgot to ask you. Let's start with the basics. What was your strategy coming into the draft in this year for this league right here?
I really wasn't too sure because I've never done the keepers before.
Really? Okay.
So I really wasn't sure what to go for, but I know one of my biggest strategies was starting pitching,
Yeah. Okay.
especially with
That's
all the pitching spots we have.
yep.
I think starting pitching is important, especially when you've got the two periods guys are that lock in. You got to swap guys out.
Yeah, and I've done both before. I'm sorry, what's your team's name again? I forgot already. Oh, this one. Duh.
Yep. Yep.
Sorry about that. Wait, why did we settle for all science points to Wrigley Field?
I kind of like it. It's kind of a ode to A Day to Remember's All Signs Point to Fort Lauderdale song.
Oh, I missed that. What famous song is on that album? I forgot. I don't really
Oh,
listen.
that's the song name. The album, or no, wait, maybe that is the album name. Let me check.
All right, let's look it up. Let's see. It's Monday morning, and I would kill for a chance to drive. This is actually a day to remember podcast, and it's just disguised as a um. Let's see. All signs. I'm on Spotify right now. All signs. Oh, okay. That's that from 2014, 2015 album, 2010. Wow.
Yeah.
What separates me from you? There's a famous
Yep.
song on this. What's the famous song on this album? Is it just All Signs Point to Lauderdale, or is there another song that that kind of
That's
is that
All I
the
Want is a pretty big one because they did a music video which featured a whole bunch of cameos from the scene.
okay?
So that might be the famous one there.
Yeah, and then the Homesick is the one I'm thinking of, like da 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 da
Yep.
da 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 da. Da. No, I haven't listened to a Day to Remember since 2007, but I know who they are. I know what they are. But yeah, the 2000s. I think it was a 2007. For those who have heart.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that was. I actually bought that CD back in the day. I don't know if you know what CDs are. I know you're the young guy in the group here. So I'm showing off your team here, and I guess you kept Freddie Freeman. You're the one who drafted Michael Garcia. Okay, cool. Who else did you keep from your hitter? Aaron Judge, obviously. Anybody else?
Judge. I kept I
PCA?
kept PCA. Yep.
And I don't think you would have kept anybody in your bench. You have Owen Casey.
Kept a
Uh,
couple pitchers too. I
yeah, Freddie
kept
Peralta.
Freddie and Trevor Rogers.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising. Although, yeah, you're the one who picked Trevor Rogers in the other league too, pretty early, as well.
Yeah.
Is there something I don't know about Trevor Rogers that I missed? I know he was pretty good with the Marlins. At one time, he was like considered one of like their core starting pitchers, and then injuries took over. But what do you like so much about Trevor Rogers that you have to get him in both of these leagues?
He was just really good for me last year. I think I picked him up off of waivers
Yes.
because he came back from injury. Because I think the Orioles got him while he was injured, and he came back from injury, and he was just really good for me down the stretch. I think one of the bigger reasons why I got into the playoffs and won the first round.
Okay,
He
that's
kept my
cool.
pitching in line.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, let's go back to the draft here. Where were we? Oh yeah, so I wanted to see if there was any other middle infielders that were available besides Zach Neto. I think Garcia qualifies at second, or is he still only
No,
third now? Only third. All right.
really?
Yeah, only third, according to this thing. All right. Anybody else? CJ Abrams. Okay, so Zach Neto's definitely better than CJ Abrams. And then I end up getting Luke. I don't know how to say his last name. Is it Keishel? Keishel?
Keisha is my guess.
Keishel. Okay, I get the second baseman that I want. So I go back to back with middle infielders. Uh, Anybody else? What about in the third round? Any middle infielders? Jose Altuve. So yeah, I wasn't gonna pick Jose Altuve in the first two rounds. What else we got there? We got to the fourth round. Anybody? Anybody? No. So yeah, I ended up getting like oh, Willie Adames. I wasn't interested in getting him. So Adames goes in the fifth round. Anybody else? What about the sixth round? Any other? Oh, Jeremy Pena, he goes to you. But yeah, no, I think I like Neto better. I do like Xavier Edwards, but I like the other two guys I got. But yeah, this is such a Sean thing to do. You'll notice that Sean just hogs up all the high contact guys. Yeah, I think he even got
Mm.
Luis Ariz in this league as well. But yeah, that's a thing to keep out with him. And then Sedana Rafaela from the Red Sox, who's a little too wild for me. So yeah, I'm happy with the Zach Neto pick. I did need an extra outfielder. I mean, what's your take on? Because I think from people looking on the outside in, they would say, well, I mean, I know you got Jose Ramirez, but maybe you should have concentrated on getting another corner infielder to fill out that corner infield slot. Or there's Vinny Pasquantino, you would have filled out your first base slot, which, yeah, I could, I regret it now that I see that he's carrying Team Italy, but I guess I had a chance to get Vinny P, but I just think that it's kind of like the whole philosophy thing. Like every owner has a different take on how to build a roster here, and I think with me is like I wanted to secure my up the middle, that traditional sense, build up your up the middle guys. I already got Jackson Churio. I get Zach Neto. I get Luke Keishel. So I got my middle fielder set. I just need a catcher. I don't know. Am I thinking too much here? Am I not thinking correctly fantasy wise? What's your take on I mean, when do you start drafting for corner infielders and middle infielders? I guess is a better question.
It kind of just depends on what kind of hitters I see, the timing of when they show up
Yeah.
kind of in the rankings. I know you can't rely on the rankings always, but when the better hitters start to show up and you think they might get taken soon, then you maybe reach down and go grab who you think the best hitter at those positions are. I never really focused on specific positions on which time to take the positions. Just
Yeah.
filling out the rosters with the hitters that I felt were the best available at the time without reaching too far if I can help it.
Yeah, and I definitely reached because I didn't want to lose out on Luke Keishel because I do like him a lot coming into the season. Um, but he's ranked behind Jose Altuve, and conventional wisdom says no, you got to wait for Jose Altuve to get picked before you get Luke Keishel. But I just didn't want to take that chance. I wanted him right there and on the spot. I did miss out that Nico Horner did go in the first round as well to Aaron's team, so we know who Nico Horner is. We're both Cub fans. High
He
contact
was
guy.
my
I'm sorry, what?
he was my keeper that or he was one of the guys that was in between him and PCA to keep for my sixth
Oof.
keeper.
Ooh, that must have been painful for you.
It was.
Anybody else that stood out to you in the first round before we get move on to the second round here? Nothing? Nobody?
Not,
And
not really. I do like the Framber pick.
yeah, it's the one
That's a good pick up there.
probably going to be the only pick we like from Jet. Let's move on to the second round here. I love the Joan Duran pick here in the second round. Was there any other closer that went? No, but I
I don't
know I
think
kept
so.
no, right? And I know I kept Edwin Diaz. I think Andres Munoz was kept. And Mason Miller must have been kept. So Joan Duran going to Andrew O'Sullivan's team, the Mets fan from New York, and he pairs him up with Jackson Merrill. So he's off to a good start. Jackson Merrill's kind of iffy this year, but I mean he was a very highly regarded. prospect before all the injuries took over last season. So Andrew has off to a good start. I think Aaron did a good job doing back-to-back picks. That's the advantage of doing back-to-back picks is that you just let the draft come to you and you just kind of pick up the scraps that everybody else, not scraps, but just it makes your life easier when everybody already made their picks and now you just concentrate on the ones that you want to do. We already talked about Kevin Gossman. I think, yeah, he was a choice to make here at starting pitcher. And then you see that what's his face Jet pairs up Shota Imanaga. I'm sorry, he pairs up Framber Valdez with Shota Imanaga. Uh, I don't know. I mean, he missed out on his hometown boy Jacob Mizorowski. Uh, and then David Bednar, our oldest Chapman. Did what do you think? Jet make the right pick here with Shota, or should he have gone closer, or should he have gone a different pitcher like Yuri Perez in the third round? Then he goes after Reynaldo Lopez in the third round, but that was a head scratcher too. Nathan Eovaldi and guys like that, and Nick Pavetta. You took him in the fourth round. So again, Shota, yes or no? Too early, too soon, too right? What do you think?
I think it's too. I think it's too early for sure. I feel like I
Mm,
don't really know how much value he has to fantasy right now. Right now, he's kind of looked at as kind of the fifth starter. He might even see himself out of the rotation once Steele is back to form.
wow.
I don't know, and he's a fly ball pitcher at
Yeah.
Wrigley. That doesn't always suffice, especially when the wind's blowing out. Even though the
Yeah.
wind hasn't been, wind's actually favored him the last couple of years.
Yeah, yeah. But like you said, it's hard. Those are things that are hard to predict. But let's see what the roster resource says. Let me make this a little bit wider
Home
and
runs, home
bigger.
runs like per nine is a stat we do, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to avoid him and Jameson Tyone in these two drafts just because of that stat, because they're fly ball pitchers and tend to get a lot of solo shots.
So you see that Shota is the third starting pitcher ahead of Edward Cabrera, Jameson Taillon. That's a solid five there for the Cubs. I don't know if it's championship caliber, but definitely they're playing down to the competition in their division. Although the Brewers always they're just been proven to be a pitching factory of late. And then if none of these guys work out, you still got Javier Assad and Colin Ray who can give you 4 or 5 innings. Justin Steele, you just mentioned it that's a big if is when he comes back. And Jordan Wicks, remember him? He's still on the mend and he has a nerve irritation in his arm, so that's not a good sign as of February 2026. So I would think Justin Steele maybe by June, maybe he'll be back by June, May at the earliest. I don't want to rush him. And then that doesn't even include the guys who are in AAA. Let me see who's in AAA here. Who would be the next guy up? Oh, Ben Brown. Yeah, he's still around. Uh,
Yeah, he's
Kyle.
developing a sinker.
Oh, well, that should help him. Kyle Wright. I think I remember him from a long time ago. Um,
Wiggins could be up.
Jackson Wiggins, you're right. Yeah, and he's the number three prospect. So we got some options here. Although the number three spot is usually a pretty safe position to be in, but you're right. The Cubs have a little bit of depth, and Edward Cabrera is more exciting than Shota. And then Jameson Taillon is Jameson Taillon. He might be on the bubble too, but yeah, I agree. It's way too early, especially when you got high upside guys like Jacob Mizorowski, and then you got a lot of good closers like Aroldis Chapman. I would have taken him if I'm going pitcher. Yuri Perez is definitely a guy. I know that might be too early for some people as well, but no way in hell am I gonna pass up on Yuri Perez. No way in hell. He's just too electric, I think. Uh, I- and then Jet in the third round gets Ronaldo Lopez, which I don't know what he was thinking. It is an auto pick, but that's a Q issue on his part. But still, there's plenty of good pitchers out there. Why is Ronaldo Lopez at the top of your queue? You got Nate Eovaldi still around, Nick Pavetta. Anyway, we're and Kyle Bradish who goes to me. Sandy Alcantara. Sandy Alcantara is still available. Oh my God. Anyway, let's go back. Vinny P going to Angels team, so he pairs him up with Cole Reagan. So Angel having a really good draft so far. I like it so far. Who did Sean pair Mezorowski with? Where is he? No, he's down here. Oh, Wyatt Langford. Of course he gets Wyatt Langford. All right, and then the second half of the draft of the second round. Anybody that kind of sticks out to you, positive or negative? You tell me.
Let me see here.
Just gonna point
I
out the
would be I would be curious to see what other third baseman could have been available besides Austin Riley. I
and
know
I
he's got the potential there, but he's also had hit the injury bug lately.
yeah, and he's just been pretty inconsistent of late. Let me see. Yeah, 309 on base, 322 on base in 2024. Yeah, he's been kind of his ops on base plus slugging has been below 800 since 2024 season, and the power has disappeared. I mean, to your point, I mean, the injuries might be taking a toll, but yeah, this is it's one of those where it can be really, really good or really, really bad for Henry here. And Henry does pair up Austin Riley with what is he? Oh my God, with Byron Buxton. Jesus Christ, Henry. So two injury riddled players and Francisco Lindor. So Henry living dangerously here. So we're looking for third baseman, right? Is that Eugenio Suarez? I don't know. Is Eugenio Suarez better than Austin Riley, do you think? What do you think?
You're definitely going to get the counting numbers from Suarez. I don't know how much better his rate stats are than Riley.
He strikes out a lot, so his batting
Yeah,
average should suffer.
strikeouts a lot too.
Yeah, you're right about that. Let's see here. $1.89 batting average. In his defense, oh, that was in Seattle. My bad. In Seattle, he hit $1.89, which that's what happens when
Cincinnati,
you go,
though.
huh?
He is in Cincinnati this year, so
Yeah,
maybe upside there, Harris Park.
yeah. And when he was in Cincinnati, wasn't there oh, I'm looking at the doubles. Yeah, there it is. In 2019, he hit 49 home runs, albeit that was the year of the gopher ball that they were using, the
Yep.
rabbit ball. But he's always been a big power hitter. 31 in Cincinnati, 31 in Seattle. He's always been a low batting average guy, low on base guy. He does strike out a ton, but you don't get Eugenio Suarez for the skills. You get him because of the big power potential. But then, of course, it's Seattle, so his power numbers started dropping. But then he goes to Arizona, 30 home runs there. He gets traded. He had 49 last year, 13 in 53 games. So what is that? I can't math right. 53 divided by 13. So every 4 games he was hitting a home run. That's just some rough math. For those who want to do it by at bat, every 15 at bats he was getting a home run. So yeah, it's about 4 games. So yeah, so the power is there, but everything else is lacking. So I guess you could say Austin Riley has more skill, but Suarez has the big power bat potential that we always want to see. Addison Barger is kind of new to the block here. He does qualify in right field. That's right. We play we split the outfield positions: left field, center field, right field. Um, let's take a look what he did last year. Addison Barger. Uh, yeah, so 21 home runs. So yeah, he's kind of like a poor man's version of Eugenio Suarez, right? He is 26 years old, so he does have age on his side. He does bat left-handed,
What
but
were his strikeouts?
I'm sorry, what?
What were Barger's strikeouts?
Oh yeah, let me double check that for you. 121 strikeouts and 460 at bats. So that is, yeah, that's less than 4 at bats a game. So that's basically a strikeout per game for this guy.
I think I'd rather have Suarez with the higher power numbers than him.
Yeah, that's for sure. Isaac Paredes, who was injured, going to Jets team again. It's a
Barger might be a homer pick.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah, you're gonna see that a lot. And then she's gonna win championships, Aaron is, with those homer picks and laugh at our faces all the way through.
Right.
Isaac, what's that?
I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, don't let you hear it because well, I'm gonna take that personally. She's like the Michael Jordan of this league. Uh, 20 home runs from Isaac Paredes. I'm a big fan of Isaac Paredes, but
Wow.
th this is lacking. But he does make up for it with solid on base
Yeah,
percentages.
high OBP there. That's eye widening a little bit for sure.
Yeah, and he has a very good batting eye. That's always been even with the Cubs, he was always that was his big MO was that he has a really good batting eye.
364 is not terrible batting average
Yeah,
for what his skill set brings to the table.
yeah, it just like you mentioned before in one of the chats, like why isn't this working in Houston? You would think
Right.
this would work in Houston, and it just whatever reason it didn't. I mean, there might have been some injuries. He's injured now, so far I think maybe we cut Henry some slack. Matt Chapman. I'm not the biggest Matt Chapman fan, but Yeah, third baseman was pretty weak this year, and Matt Chapman looks like the prettiest girl of the bunch after a while, right? It's
The
3
OBP is
a.m.
nice on him too.
And I mean that's an improvement from like his 314 days. So 276 in Oakland back in 2020. So he's little by little kind of getting his groove back a little bit. What is he 35 years old? I think no 32. So okay, so he's a lot younger than I thought he was. Oops, I got out of his page. Let's go back. Let's go back to his stats. But yeah, he does play in San Francisco, but he still is hitting 20 home runs a year. He hit 39 doubles in 2024, 2020, and 39 doubles in 2023. You mentioned the decent on base percentage, but then you look at this, the strikeouts are pretty big.
I
Yeah.
think he'd be the only one like around this area, around this time of the draft. I think he'd be the only one I would have taken over Riley that we're looking
Yeah.
at.
So
Maybe besides Suarez.
right. And Chapman might be a better all-around player, but yeah, he does play in San Francisco, so the power potential is very limited. And do we have any other third baseman? I can't even say his name right. Munetaka Murakami, the White Sox third baseman. I think he's left-handed too. Yes, he's
Yep.
left-handed, so that's a knock against him. Oh yeah, there's no stats, but his MO was that he strikes out a lot too. He the big power numbers, but his low batting average and so he's basically the left-handed version of Addison. I'm not sorry, not Addison Barger, of Eugenio Suarez, if we are to believe the early scouting reports. So
Is the Sox Park bad for lefties?
I don't know anymore. The problem is that they've been so bad the last couple of years that those. So what I've noticed that is that the ballpark factors uh, are also dependent on what kind of talent your team has. There was a
Hmm.
couple of years where Vince asked me, "Hey, Felipe, what are the ballpark factors of Yankee Stadium?" All right, let me look it up. And it turns out that the home runs are pretty neutral there. And it just turns out that at that point, the Yankees pitching staff was pretty lights out at that point. So talent does play a role in it, but guarantee is it still called guarantee rate field? Let's call it Comiskey just because I don't know what
Just
the name
rate.
is. What is it still that?
It's just rate. They took out the word guaranteed.
Okay, rate field, I guess. Okay, I'm just gonna call it arrow up field. The arrow's always pointing up at the White Sox. It's always been known. I mean, they moved the fences in a long time ago, and it's been a very hitter-friendly ballpark for almost a decade now. So, but can he make contact? Can Murakama adjust to big league pitching? Can he? I'm sorry, Murakami. My bad. Can he limit his strikeouts? So I don't know. Yeah, I did see that some footage of him getting some piece of advice from Shohei Ohtani, so hopefully that helps. But so I guess we can give Henry a little bit of a break for getting Austin Riley. And I guess the question is not that if he made a good selection in Austin Riley as third baseman go, but did he make a good overall pick for himself? And getting Austin Riley and Byron Buxton, who are two injury-riddled guys, I would have to say that just sounds a little risky at this point, but who else should he have drafted? There's Shane Langoliers, Augustine Ramirez. Should he have gone catcher? I know Yuri Perez. He was a big fan of Yuri Perez, but I'm surprised he didn't. I thought he was going to take him in these rounds, but he didn't. If you're going to go after an injured guy, I think Yuri Perez would have been the way to go here. I would have picked Yuri Perez over Byron Buxton myself. I don't think he would have picked Jose Altuve. Cade Smith is a very good relief pitcher. Seiya Suzuki is a pretty good right fielder, although he's hurt now. Is he going to be okay? Did we get an update on that guy, on Seiya?
The only update is that they did an MRI today,
Okay.
waiting for those results.
Hopefully it's not too
But it doesn't
serious.
doesn't sound too serious. They're describing it as right knee discomfort.
Okay. Yeah, that was me yesterday at the gym playing basketball. I ended up getting right knee discomfort too. And then the other guaranteed, I mean, the safe pick, quote unquote, would have been Nathan Eovaldi. So I guess we can't fall. So I guess Henry's option would have been Yuri Perez or just pick a catcher. And I think for Henry, it might have been too early. So that's my 2 cents on that. Let's move on to the third round. O'Neal Cruz going to James Hanlebode. He won the championship 2 years ago, and then last year was just a complete disaster for the guy. Not the way he drew it up on the map there. So he pairs up, who was it? O'Neal Cruz with Tyler Glass now and Aroldis Chapman. Okay, very interesting trio. Interesting trio. And I ask you in this round, who was the best catcher that was picked? Shea Langoliers, Agustin Ramirez, or Drake Baldwin?
I don't think you can go wrong with any three of those guys, to
Pick
be
one.
honest.
Pick one right now.
I think maybe Shea just because of the ballpark he plays in. It's a
Mm-hmm.
basically minor league sized park, and
Yeah.
I know I know those guys over at John Boy seemed really high on him too.
Let's see. Yeah, the 31 home runs, 29 the year before, and his average went up, and that has a lot to do with his. Maybe he's developing, but let's face it, you hit it right in the head. It's a minor league ballpark, and I mean he's right in the middle of his prime years, I guess, if you're still believing in that. Regardless, that ballpark makes a world of difference. So, but the strikeouts, what is that? 36 divided by 103. What is that? Yeah, I guess that's a serviceable walk per strikeout ratio these days. But let's see, 481 divided by 103. Okay, so yeah, his strikeouts are dropping, which explains his increased batting average, but 32 doubles, 31 home runs. Yeah, there's a lot to like. Me, I would have gone with Agustin Ramirez for the simple fact that you're getting a catcher that that could steal you a ton of bases. He stole 16 last year, but this guy has been known to steal 20 bases from the catching position. He's a kind of a wild swinger, and he kind of had mixed results in his rookie year. But yeah, the potential to get a guy who can hit 20 home runs and 20 stolen bases, that would have been worth the bad rate stats in my books. So that would have gone that route there. Let's see. Anything else that we noticed from this round, third round? Let's see. I know that two different rounds here, but would you have gone Aroldis Chapman or Kate Smith for relief pitchers?
I think just Chapman. I think maybe maybe his ERA is a little lower. I don't know. I like both guys though. I know they're both going to be closing. I think they're both going to be closing for their
Yeah.
respective teams this year. Chapman, I think, has the lower ERA.
Okay, well, let's see what Kate Smith had. So a dollar something for Chapman, and then Kate Smith is near a three ERA. He did struggle at the beginning, but he kind of fixed himself at the end. And of course, he was the guy who ended up replacing Emmanuel Clase, who
No
foolishly,
strikeouts.
yeah, that's true. Oh wait, Clase foolishly threw away his career for some odd reason. All right, let's move on there. Fourth round. Let's see. Anything that sticks out to you right off the bat here? I know it's kind of hard to see all the picks, but it starts off with Addison Barger, a Blue Jays player, and it ends with George Springer, a Blue Jays hitter, going to the Yankee fan who's still probably pissed at George Springer when he was still a Houston Astro for the garbage can situation. But anybody else that sticks out to you in the fourth round here? Nothing? Nothing?
I just think that maybe Barger is a little high of a pick.
Yeah, it's a homer pick.
I do kind of like the Chandler Simpson pick. Was that an Angel pick?
No, that was
Oh,
James Pino's pick. The Yankee fan getting him, and
I do like
Sims.
that pick, especially if you're looking for stolen bases and
Yeah,
batting average for
yeah.
your team. That's a pretty good pick in that department.
My concern is he actually going to play? Let's find out. Let's go to the roster resource page.
Are you
Yeah,
getting a lot of background noise from me?
no, not more than usual. I know in the past there's usually a guy talking in the back.
There's a dryer in my background, so
No,
my mom just turned it on.
oh, okay. I think you'll be fine. Yeah, Simpson is part of a platoon with maybe Johnny DeLuca or Ryan Vilade. So there is always competition in Tampa, but the reason you get a guy like his because he could potentially steal 41 stolen bases and maybe hit for 287. And this is a pretty respectable on base percentage, 328 for a guy like him. You're just not gonna get anything else from him. You're just gonna get stolen bases, batting average, and maybe some triples here and there. And then the problem is that the Rays have some decent players just waiting. Oh, look, Wander Franco still shows up. That's weird. Jeez. Let's see. Richie Palacios, he'll he'll barge in every once in a while. Victor Mesa Jr., I remember him as a kind of a outside prospect looking in. Edward Olivares, I remember Sean and I used to fawn over him when he was with the Kansas City Royals. Hey, remember Homer Bush? He has a son, Homer Bush Jr., who was at one point the 51st overall player in the Rays system. And then Justin Henry Malloy. Yeah, yeah, he was a prospect for the Detroit Tigers for a long time. So, but yeah, I don't think they have the upside that Chandler Simpson has for that one category. So, yeah, we got a couple of a couple of guys coming back from Tommy John surgery. You got Kyle Bradish and Sandy Alcantara. It's a very tough decision for me to make, especially after I made the draft. After I selected Yuri Perez. And I honestly thought I was gonna risk losing Kyle Bradish, but thankfully he was still there in the fourth round. But I see that Alcantara went almost immediately after me. Uh, who's the reclamation project from the post-surgery guy that you would have selected here? Kyle Bradish or Sandy Alcantara? And
I
there's
think
also Nick Pavetta too, if you want to count him in.
I think I think Bradish might be the better pick here. I think he does decent strikeout numbers,
Yes.
but I think if I had to choose between these two guys, it would be just based off the team they play for. I think maybe Orioles, with their kind of revamped the lineup, they might get a few more wins for him.
Yeah. And Alcantara,
I don't know what their defense is like, but I feel like might be
yeah,
a little better.
we'll have to double check. But yeah, anything is better than the Marlins, right? So, um, let's see here. Alcantara got off to a really bad start, but as you can see, he started getting his groove back as the season wore on. But he got off to a really bad start. I mean, like low strikeout numbers. He's giving up 6 runs in July, but I think he kind of turned the corner like in mid-August here.
He started to turn the corner, but then he got kind of inconsistent. I think his last month was probably his best
Yeah.
stretch of the year.
Oh wait.
I think that's just attributed to him getting the feel back from Tommy John.
Yeah, yeah. But Bradish almost instantly was productive right off the bat. That's the thing that about him. All right, let's see. So yeah, July. Yeah, I mean, April and May were brutal for him in terms of ERA and WHIP. Started improving around June, but it was kind of like with mixed results, right? Um, and July was also a struggle for him with a high ERA. But yeah, August and September were the months that kind of turned his season around and kind of showed that he's still the same old Sandy Alcantara as from before, with a little bit more strikeout potential. So I'm excited. Excuse me, I'm excited. I'm excited for him, but I was a little bit more excited for Kyle Bradish. Anybody else we talked about Matt Chapman? Anybody else? We talked about the third baseman, Addison Barger, Isaac Paredes. But is there any other player you want to discuss before we move on to the fifth round here?
Not to toot my own horn a little bit, but I really like my Nick Pavetta pick there. I feel like
Yeah,
I think he had an ERA under 3, and he's putting up some good strikeout numbers.
yeah, yeah. I like
A
Nick
lot of
Pavetta
innings
too.
too.
Yeah, yeah,
I think I would have taken him over some of the other starting pitchers that were taken before him.
yeah. That's exactly what happened. Oh, you're talking about even ahead of guys like Yuri Perez, Nathan Eovaldi, guys like that.
Eovaldi and Perez have the injury concern. I know
Mm,
Eovaldi is has shown he's really good, but he's got the injury concern
yeah,
along with Perez.
yeah. Eovaldi, in my experience, he always peters out like in August and September. He just looks like a guy who's just dog tired, you know. And then Pavetta, yeah, he's always pretty damn good. Plays for the right team, right ballpark. Everything about him is just pretty damn good.
Kind of funny. I know I talked a lot of crap about Padres when they gave him the contract they did, but he's changed my mind.
So Henry's getting kind of funny. Like he's been picking players. As a Yankee fan, and he's been pretty vocal against these guys. Well, maybe not as vocal as Vince, but George Springer, like I mentioned, former Astros player that kind of screwed the Yankees in 2017, and yeah, late 2010s, early 2020s. And then Devin Williams, the former Yankees closer. I remember the Yankee fans was, he's not a real closer. He can't stand the bright lights of New York. And then Henry, there's always a little bit of trolling going on with Henry, I think, when he gets the Mets closer um, over some of these Mets fans. We have three Mets fans in this league, and none of them chose Devin Williams. But Henry's like, yeah, I'll take him if you don't want him. Screw it. So I thought that was an interesting back to back with George Springer and Devin Williams. I like the Ryan Pepio pick from James. The Drew Rasmussen pick, I'm always wary of him, but when he's healthy, he brings the goods. He's not a big strikeout guy, but he's just a pretty good control artist. That's always been his MO. But as you can see, health is an issue the last couple of years. So we'll see if he is able to stay healthy.
That's
And
like all race pitchers' health
pretty
concern.
much, yeah. I love the Jacob Marcy pick here. You asked who the Marlins have defensively. Well, Marcy is a speed demon.
Mm.
And let's see what was he? Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, we I think we all messed up here. We should have gotten
Wow.
him. The 292 batting average, 363 on base, 842 ops with the only 14 stolen bases in 55 games played. So I think he was projected to get close to 30, maybe even more so when the draft was going on and we were seeing the Fantrax projections. And three triples to in only 55 games too. So if he plays double that, that's six triples. If he plays triple those games, that's nine triples, maybe close to 10 triples, right? Although 55 times three, what is that? Oh, 165 games. Yeah. If he plays three more games than everybody else, then he gets 10 triples. No. And a very, yeah, there's a lot to like here. He was a highly touted prospect and he plays for Team Italy. I think people are finding out who this guy is. Um, so yeah, kind of very sneaky pick here by Jacob. Very just him and Samuel Alcantara is a good back to back for Jacob. So like Jacob knows how to draft. It's maintaining those that roster during the season that always gets to him. I went with the catcher Yanier Diaz. I just learned my lesson last year. Okay, maybe you don't wait too long for catcher. I just kind of fell in love with a lot of those prospects like Drake Baldwin, Agustin Ramirez, Kyle Teel, Samuel Basallo. I'm missing a bunch more, but I just kind of fell in love with all those guys. And this year, I just decided, no, I'm not gonna wait too long here. Plus, a lot of these guys, Willie Adames, Ian Happ, Sonny Gray, if Taylor Ward, Yandy Diaz, a lot of veteran safe options, low floor but low ceiling type of guys. If I would have picked anybody, it probably would have been Stephen Kwan. But again, my outfield's already set. Anybody that sticks out to you? Well, let's see. Let's go from Yanir Diaz all the way down to Yandy Diaz brothers here. Anybody that sticks out to you in this little tunnel of draft picks here?
I think just the regression we saw from Yanier Diaz last year kind of uh, put me away from him in drafts this year.
Hmm.
I know he can bounce back.
Yeah,
I waited on catchers this year after
I
taking
noticed.
Contreras in the league last year.
I
It's really
noticed.
early.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was a concern of mine too. But I just remember winning a championship with Yanir Diaz back in 2023. But he was being utilized mostly as a first baseman and designated hitter. But obviously, the more games he catches, the more it goes bad for him. So, yeah, I totally get it. But I just couldn't pass up the just what he did for me in 2023, and also the fact that he still hits 20 home runs. Not the best batting average, but we've seen a lot worse from guys who are just hacking it up there. Still gets you 25 doubles. Pretty damn durable. Um, so yeah, I'm a big fan of Yanner Diaz, but this is one that might bite me in the butt, especially when you see that there was a lot of good players that were a lot of low floor guys that were selected after him. He is going to be utilized in DH a lot this year, so 25 games in DH last year. So that bodes well that even when he's not catching, he's still going to be playing no matter what. If I were to get one of these Sarah Plainenthal type of player, I think Sonny Gray would have been a good pickup for me. I've had Sonny Gray before. Yandy Diaz is always a pretty solid option. Not the best, but not the worst either. It's just somewhere in the middle. Stephen Kwan, but again, my outfield is already set, so I don't need a Stephen Kwan. Ian Happ is always an interesting player because of he's a very highly skilled hitter. It's just that the counting stats kind of leave you wanting some more. But the on base, you're always going to get a solid on base percentage from the guy, Ian Happ. I mean, so anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, it's on base for him. On base and doubles, I think. I think his doubles numbers are pretty good.
Let's double check that. Yeah, 32 doubles, 34 doubles, 35 doubles, 42 doubles in 2022. So yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes he lacks in home runs. I mean, 17 home runs, but he makes up for it in doubles. So yeah, no, he's just a very good, solid, complete hitter, right? He's not the best power, but also not he's not a wild swinger. He knows the strike zone. Solid veteran. Um, I think the upside guy would have been Emmett Sheehan, but again, Dodgers pitcher. We already talked about
yeah,
him.
I was iffy on him in
And
all my drafts.
moving on, let's see. Yandy Diaz goes to Aaron, then she pairs him up with Gavin Williams. That's a pretty solid pick there. You got Jeremy Pena, which might be a sneaky pick, but the reason you're able to sneak this pick in because he has a finger issue. So depending who you talk to, it's either a real legit injury or a very fake injury, and the Astros were just kind of holding him back so he doesn't participate in the World Baseball Classic. It's anybody's guess at this point. Did you make a backup plan for Jeremy Pena?
Yeah, I did. It's not the greatest backup, but I grabbed the backup kind of late in the draft. I took JP Crawford late in the draft as a backup just in case.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
He has some high upside.
I'm not the biggest JP Crawford fan, but he's a solid veteran. He'll get you a decent batting average and a decent on base percentage. Jonathan Aranda, I feel like that might have been too early for him for Jonathan Aranda, and but at this point,
He
what other?
doesn't give you the counting number. Aranda doesn't really give the counting numbers you want from a first baseman.
No, I mean, there's Spencer Torkelson was still available. He definitely put up some counting numbers last year
I'm
in his
definitely
breakout year.
pretty high on Torkelson.
Although you could argue that maybe Oranda has a better skill set than Torkelson because Torkelson struggled for a long time, but Torkelson can really beat the crap out of the ball. I mean, all his counting stats numbers are pretty otherworldly. There was Christian Walker who comes with his own question marks. Luis Arias, of course, goes to Sean's team. We just talked about that because Sean gets all the pesky high contact hitters. Ryan O'Hearn. Okay, so I will give Jet a little bit of benefit of the doubt. First base are running out. So it's either between Jonathan Aranda or Spencer Torkelson, and he picked Aranda, and he drafted him around the time where Aranda got the go-ahead home run for Team Mexico in the World Baseball Classic against Great Britain. Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, 3-run home run. So maybe recency bias, but yeah, there's some pop missing, but he's still young. Okay, 27 years old. He's a late bloomer. Sorry. Oops, I just exited out.
Kind of tough to talk about Jets draft when a lot of it was auto picking.
I still say it's a Q issue. I mean, you got to do better job of queuing,
Yeah,
but
just
obviously, go ahead.
just don't know how many decisions were actually the ones he made as
All of
a
them,
judge.
all of them, all of them. No, no excuses. Come on, it's hard. I try.
I
I
just
mean,
don't think I don't just don't know how much to really talk about it when you don't know which players he actually took himself.
yeah, and it sucks because he has a weird work schedule, and we try to make it work. And that's the ironic part is that we did the slow draft to account for all these weird ass work schedules, and we still can't get it right for with poor Jet who sleeps all day and then he works all night. So it's tough, but I still say you got to do a better job of queuing your players, man. I mean, he obviously did a good job of queuing players to be able to you know still get those auto picks in. But you got to find a way to drag these players the right way, and there's ways to go about it too. There's lots of options you can do to cue your players just the right way. I will give this to Jet. I mean, Jonathan Aranda did give you a very high ops and very limited time last year. 883,
Oh,
316
wow.
batting average, 393 on base percentage. So that's the upside you're chasing. He's only 27 years old.
I
Uh,
like the on base there.
Yeah, but it is it fluky or is it consistent? We shall
Right.
see. So, anybody else that kind of sticks out to you in the latter stages of the sixth round here, Michael Harris all the way down to Santana Rafaela. Anybody that sticks out to you?
A little interesting to see Andy Pajes get taken over Teoscar.
Yeah, Teoscar's
Pajes has the flexibility though of every position.
that's probably the reason why Mike from Eastern Washington, the Cardinals fan, got Andy Pages. I am almost 99% sure that's the reason he got him over Teoscar Hernandez. But Hernandez's stock has dropped down. I mean, yes, lots of power, but there's a little bit of skill lacking here.
Strikeouts.
Look at this, 284 on base
Well,
percentage.
I think that's why I avoided him that low BP.
And it's not the
Only
first time.
25 home runs too last year.
Yeah, and it's not the first time that he's posted low on base. I mean, 305 in 2023, 316 in 2022,
Ooh.
302, 306 in Toronto. It's supposed to be a hitter's park. So it fluctuates too much for me, and he only qualifies in right field. He's probably 33 years old, lucky guess. So yeah, meanwhile, Paz, I think he's like his teammate. He's about 25 or 26, 25. And I think Pages comes with a little bit of a better skill set. I mean,
Okay, yeah.
well, not really, 13 on base, but,
Well, a little bit better.
yeah, that's better than what Hernandez did last year. But I think we're playing
Strikeouts
if
are
we're
so kind of high.
yeah, but I think let me
Just a
commit this to
walk.
memory. 29 walks, 135 strikeouts for Pages, and then Teoscar last year about the same. He's always
Yeah,
struck
pretty
out a
similar
lot.
players.
Yeah. I think Pages, is he a switch hitter? I forgot what he
Nope,
was.
right-handed.
Right-handed. Okay, I stand corrected. But he is younger. He's learning on the job, and he did have a pretty decent season last year. He'll get you 14
Yeah, I guess
stolen
I would take.
bases. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I guess I would take him over Teoscar.
Did Hernandez steal? Did Teoscar steal any bases? Just five last year.
Yeah.
He's pretty much a single digit guy only. And anyway, so that's the difference. I just want to point out that once again, Sean gets another one of those pesky high contact rate guys. So he's already pissing me off by doing this. So cornering the market there.
Marlon's got
Uh,
a nice middle infield duo there.
yeah, who's the other guy that he has? I forgot.
Otto Lopez, or I don't know if he has them, but Marlins have Otto Lopez too.
Oh, yes, I like Otto
I'll talk to
Lopez.
Marlins.
Yeah. Cruise missile. Yeah, so look at Sean. Xavier Edwards, Ian Happ, and Matt Chapman. So yeah, Sean doing Sean things here. And then we saw that he ends up getting Luis Arias too. I like that I want to toot my own horn here and say I love my
That's a
Nick Lodolo pick. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. No bias. What did he do last year? Oh no, 156 strikeouts and 156 innings.
That's
Three
impressive pitch from Cincinnati.
in Cincinnati. So I like a lot to love there.
I took
And
him in the other league.
oh yeah, you did. I remember now. Brandon Woodruff injured once again, but otherwise this would have been a decent pick. I did mention in December that I'm not gonna question Brandon Woodruff anymore, and I might draft him this year, but not ahead of Nick Lodolo, no way. I like the Mike Trout one is an interesting pick for what's his face James Handaboat, and this is like I feel like this is I'm not gonna say questionable, but it's definitely high risk, high reward for him if it turns out well for Mike Trout. I know that Henry has always liked Sedana Rafaela, so I'm not surprised that he got him in this round too. I just don't think there's much of a skill set. It's just raw ability from Sedana Rafaela. Uh, yeah, 28 walks versus 117 strikeouts. What does that look like? That's a 0.24 walk per strikeout ratio. And then a low on base. Not
I
really,
wasn't impressed with his rate stats.
but it's the county stats, right? It's the potential to get to 2020, but the Red Sox have some players too, so there might be a playing time issue when it's all said and done. Carlos Estevez going in the seventh round ahead of
I don't know.
Raisel Iglesias and Trevor McGill. Nah, bro, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. I can't do it here. I can't do it. Won't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. No way. I would have gone Iglesias and McGill over Carlos Estevez. I think Estevez's days as closer are
Yeah,
numbered.
I've heard I've heard he SFS is having trouble with his velocity in spring.
Mm-mm.
So I think that's definitely a red flag there.
And I think the Royals have some options, and they're just. I think Estevez is like the
Urseg,
veteran. I'm sorry, what?
Urseg,
Yeah, that's
I
right.
think
Yeah,
he could be closer for them. But yeah,
that's right.
I think I was talking to Alex the other day, and he was confused about someone taking Estevez in the other league because he told me about how he's only hitting like 89 on his
Oof.
fastball in spring.
Oof, that's not good, brother. They also have Matt Stram. You know, he's gonna be the main lefty guy, but I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Stram gets some save opportunities. John Schreiber
Yeah,
is a pretty
he's
decent reliever. Go ahead. I'm sorry, what was that?
also Lange, Alex Lange. I think he's done some closing with
The
Detroit.
Tigers. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. So they have some options. This is not the Royals. The Royals want to do some things. They just don't want to pay too much for it. But they have an interesting
Mhm.
lineup. They have an interesting roster, sort of. And a lot of these guys are homegrown. I mean, look at it. You see that Casey, a Reds player, Jonathan India, Casey, a Rockies player, and Isaac Collins. But all these guys are homegrown. You see that? It's all Kansas City
Yeah,
Royals original signing info. And then you get to the rotation. You got two guys that were drafted by them. Otherwise,
I'm pretty high on all their starters in that rotation.
yeah, I like those guys. Let's go back. Reagan's, Michael Waka. I almost drafted Michael Waka. I just couldn't pull the trigger. I love Chris Bubich. Seth
Hmm.
Lugo's a dog out there. That doesn't give you the gaudiest numbers, but he'll compete. And Noah Cameron, your namesake, might be the wild card here. So, all right, let's move on. Brandon Lau, second baseman. Let's see, middle infielder. Was there anybody else that's better than Brandon Lau? Trevor Story, that would have been a more interesting pick over Brandon Lau. Gleyber Torres, coin flip, I guess you could say. Anybody else? Dansby Swanson. Okay, maybe I get Brandon Lau over Dansby Swanson. And then we go to the ninth round. I'm just looking for middle infielders. Anybody? No. What about the 10th round? Ozzy Albies. Ozzy Albies or Brendan Lau? What do you think?
I think Lowry. I know you're gonna get the counting numbers from him.
Yeah,
I don't know, different ballpark though. I don't know.
that's the
He's
reason.
hitting well in a dome. I don't
And,
know. To
and
change to Pittsburgh, I don't know how much of a difference that's going to be.
yeah, that was my concern. Plus, I mean, the skill set. I mean, I guess these days 256 batting average is pretty good, but 307 on base percentage. The on base percentage that should fly in any era. And but he does make up for it by having a very explosive bat. But yeah, you're right. There's a big difference between hitting in a minor league ballpark and hitting in a gargantuan stadium like PNC Ball. Is that are they still known as PNC? Whatever,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, beautiful stadium and only 19 doubles. So kind of fluky here. This kind of tells me that this guy was just putting the ball in the air and hoping for the best. And in a little league ballpark, that's what happens. And he's been injured a lot in the last 3 seasons before 2025. Even in 2019, he only played 82 games. Although I'm not sure that was because he was young and the rates are going to ray, and they always give their young players a hard time and about playing time. The strikeouts are a concern though. So let's see, even in a banner year like that, that would have been one strikeout every three at bats, every 3.4 at bats. So once a game he's striking out, that's a red flag. I don't like it. At least Ozzy Albies gives you a more of a all around better game, but I'm not saying Albies doesn't come with his own concerns. I'm kind of liking Trevor Story this year.
He played over 150 games last season.
Yeah, and that's a step in the right direction. 25 home runs, 31 stolen bases.
A lot of
The,
strikeouts.
oops.
That's always his game.
That's always his game. That's for sure. I know I'm kind of a hypocrite for saying poo-pooing one guy and not poo-pooing the other guy, but Trevor Story plays in Fenway, right? The Green
Yeah.
Monster is an actual thing, and you cannot deny this. You can't deny it. Now, if James needed a second
Stolen
baseman,
bases.
yeah, look at that. That's a lot. The
How
guy knows
old
how
is
to
he now?
33.
Wow. Turning
Yeah.
up 31 stolen bases at 32. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Right. And that's always he's always had that all around capability. Now,
Let's
of
see if he can
course,
keep that up.
well, stolen bases are easier to steal because of the rules. So,
Yeah.
and then Brandon Lau, that's what I want to. He's 31, so a 2 year age difference there. Alejandro Kirk. So I paired up the highly fluctuable Yanir Diaz with a steady, quote unquote, a steadier batting Alejandro Kirk. It's kind of a boring pick. What I really wanted to do was get Gabriel Moreno, but I did the mistake of still trusting the rankings. They're not my rankings, they're the Fantrax rankings because I don't have a spreadsheet this year. So I'm kind of flying blind. But I know what Alejandro Kirk can do. A little bit of a bias in my opinion because of Team Mexico and the World Baseball Classic was going on while this is going on. But I really wanted to get Gabriel Moreno. I just didn't I just thought maybe I can get Moreno later on as my third catcher and Kirk can be my steady number two. And then you know what happened. I accidentally picked Christian Walker instead of Gabriel Moreno, and then Mike Harvey picks up Gabriel Moreno. So yeah, things that could go wrong went wrong. I love the Bybee pick. The Mackenzie Gore is interesting. I know going to Sean, so I'm not surprised that Mackenzie Gore going to Sean. Kyler Stowers, big power back going to Angel. We're not going to talk about Jets team anymore, but Miguel Andujar, I mean, Reynaldo Lopez, Miguel Andujar, these are droppable players.
I'm
Whatever.
sure he's going to be platooning in San Diego.
Ugh, it's just a
We
bad
have to think he
situation.
is.
Just disgusting. Josh Hader. So you don't care that he's hurt. Why do you pick Josh Hader, despite the injury concerns here?
It's a biceps injury, as you can see. It's not arm related. I'm not too. Well, I mean, yeah, that is
It
arm.
is arm
Sorry.
related.
Um,
He can't show off his
sorry, my
guns.
my brain was thinking something else.
Go ahead.
I'm just from what I've read, it didn't seem like it's too. They don't seem too concerned with it.
Okay.
I'm mixing up drafts here, but I want to say I took the other guy in their bullpen too, Abreu, at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah. And 2 rounds from now, you do get Brian Abreu.
I'm not too concerned about the injuries from what I've read.
Griffin Jack's going to Aaron's team, and she pairs him up with Spencer Torkelson. Okay, that's not too shabby. Robbie Ray, Gleyber Torres. So I'm not gonna read all these names. I'm stuck in a loop here. Daniel Palencia, finally a pick that we can agree on. That Jet, that's a decent pick, right? Although I don't know, I think I would have gone with Abner. I love Abner Uribe,
I would
but
have taken Uribe over Poncia, and I
you
can't stand the Brewers, but I would have taken
yeah.
Uribe over Poncia.
The one thing I will say is Uribe. It's going to be neck and neck between him and Trevor McGill, but you can't say that Uribe should get holds, right? He's going to be the eighth inning guy. So,
Yeah.
and eventually when McGill goes
Wait,
down, Uribe gets the saves. What's that? I'm sorry.
McGill didn't go somewhere else. He's still on the Brewers.
Who? Oh, McGill.
McGill.
Yeah, it shows that he's still with the Brewers.
Oh, okay.
But you're right. He might get traded because the Brewers do that. They're basically a feeder system for everybody else. So anyway, I ended up getting Noel Marte. I still don't know if that's the right move, but
I'm iffy on him still. He's had
yeah.
PED suspensions, some injuries. I think.
Hey man, that's a good thing. All right.
Never heard a whole lot of. Haven't heard a whole lot about him. He
Actually,
plays in a good park to hit.
that is one advantage. The PED stuff, that just shows dedication, is what I think. Uh, limited the playing time. He only played 90 games, but he did get 14 stolen bases and I'm sorry, 14 home runs and 10 stolen bases. So the counting stat potential is there to maybe get 20 20 20 25 type of season. The walks and strikeouts are a little surprising because when he came up as a rookie, he showed that he had a marvelous batting eye for a kid of his age. And that's the thing. He's still kind of young. He's about, let's see, how old is he? 24 years old. So, yeah. And we've been hearing about this guy since forever and a day now. I mean, he was a hot shot, highly touted prospect with the Mariners. He gets traded to the Reds and he still continues to be a hot shot prospect. No longer playing shortstop, but now he plays outfield as well as third base. So they're going to give him an opportunity to succeed uh, and let's see, I just saw something about him that,
Looks like the strikeouts got better from his previous year.
yeah. So I always liked the kid. I mean, and I just feel like, well, if I don't get him now, I might regret it later. And I don't know, there wasn't a lot of players that I wanted in this position. I did need another corner infielder. Do I feel comfortable him being my starting corner infielder? No, no. This is more of a May, June pick than an April pick for me. So anyway, you see there, 2 for 3 with a home run, double, and 3 RBI in Wednesday spring game. Led the second inning with his second Cactus League home run. Uh, before stroking a 2-run double an inning later. Marte, who converted from infield to outfield, made a couple of nice plays in the field, promising development. Uh, he's got to be our best right fielder, says Francona. So that's high praise. So yeah, maybe a lot of it has to do with him learning a new position. So we'll see. I mean, the 24 years old, the promise is still there. Samuel Basallo is a really good pick. So there's a run on catchers. Like little by little, we're running out of catchers here. Don't like the Dansby Swanson pick. Trying to think. Well, we did name a bunch of other middle infielders, and I think Ozzy Albies. I think I would have, if I'm looking for a middle infielder, that's the guy to make, in my opinion, over Dansby Swanson. Brendan Donovan. I think yeah, you could have waited another round and gotten another middle infielder and Brendan Donovan. At least he gives you a high on base percentage. Carlos Correa. Um, yeah, I mean, injury concerns. He's up there in age, but he can at least give you 20 home runs, right? Not last year though, or not the year before, or not the or sorry, 14 home runs, 18 home runs. Okay, so maybe not. Maybe Dansby Swanson might be better because he can get stolen bases. Never mind. Forget what I said about Carlos Correa. All
He's
right.
usually good for 20 home runs a season when he's healthy.
Well, I'm sorry. He wasn't hitting 20 home runs when he was healthy.
No, I'm saying Dansby nowadays is good for 20 plus when he's healthy,
Yeah,
just
there's
about
something
every season.
I I just, I mean 2020, I'm not gonna deny that from him, but I mean everything else about him, I mean it's kind of hypocritical of me to poo-poo his batting average and his on-base percentage when I've been praising other guys. But that's a lot of games
A
and
lot of
you've
strikeouts.
and a lot of strikeouts and a lot of games. I don't know. You kind of expect higher production. Maybe the contract that we gave him as a Cubs fan is still weighing on me. I still think about it, and that he's not living up to expectation. But I mean, you can't deny the counting stats, the big home runs and the big doubles. So
Counting
maybe,
stats are basically the same every year
yeah.
from
And,
him once when he's healthy.
and he is pretty damn durable too. So maybe I'm just bashing him unnecessarily. Maybe the contract's still on my mind. Shane Baz. Wow, that's an interesting pick by James. What did he do last year? 176 strikeouts and 176 strikeouts and 166 innings. It's pretty good, but the WHIP and ERA were pretty high last year, so maybe that's why the Rays gave up on him. I don't know. But Shane Baz, you know who he is. I mean, we've been waiting on him. Jeff Hoffman going to the Yankee fan Henry, and that's a really good pick. I like the Alec Burleson pick here in this round, round nine, back to back, on his second of the back to back picks there. I cede the floor to you. Anybody in the ninth round that you want to talk about here?
I definitely think this low in the draft, I think Aaron Nola could possibly be a steal this
Yeah,
late in the draft.
yeah,
He had a rough year last year, but I still think he's looked good in the WBC. So I don't know how he did tonight. I think he pitched tonight, but otherwise, I feel like he's got the type of stuff that he could come back from, especially if he can be healthy again, like he has been most of his career.
right. Yeah,
He's healthy most of his career too. So
I like that pick. And then I like the Luis Robert as a bounce back candidate. New team and Fantrax has him stealing like a million bases and 20 home runs.
yeah,
And
you definitely like that.
so I think
What's his extra base hits like doubles look like?
last year was 12 doubles in 110 games. 19 and
So
100 games in 2024. Okay, when he was healthy, quote unquote, 38 home runs, 36 doubles, and a 542 slugging percentage in 2023. So, but still a lot of strikeouts. I mean, you're not picking Luis Robert because he knows the strike zone, right? You pick him because he has a big bat speed, physically imposing player. I mean, at one point I said that he was one of the most freak athletes I've ever seen in my life. Covers a lot of ground in center field, but I mean, even in a bad year, he still got to 33 stolen bases, but it came at a high cost. A 661 ops is unacceptable, right?
yeah, I think that's what scared me off. The back-to-back seasons of under
Yeah,
700 OPS.
it's inexcusable, and he wasn't trying. But now he's with the Mets. It's for all intents and purposes, reports saying that he's happy, he's on a better team. There's a lot of
Yes,
I
we'll
was gonna
see.
hope for him. Here's my Waterloo Christian Walker instead of Gabriel Moreno. Although now I see Moreno has an injury. What's his deal here? A forearm injury. Great. All right. Uh, but yeah, Christian Walker. Like I said, I feel like I always lack power at my corner infield position. So, Walker, I see that he has hit 30 home runs consistently, and he's still with the Astros. That's just like Isaac Paredes. They're supposed to be hitting a lot more than what they did last year. So big bounce back candidate here. And of course, Sean gets Luis Arias because that's what he does. He gets all the high contact rate guys. It's been a theme for him all this time. I love the Brian Abreu pick to your point earlier. Um, and then Ryan Helsley and Jeff Hoffman, those are two guys I kind of like last year, but I didn't realize they were pretty bad in September, which would explain why my team kind of but all my teams kind of petered out that had these two guys on it last year. So that kind of changed my mind about them. I said, all right, then I don't want them anymore. Love the Ian Seymour pick. I don't know if it's early or not, but
I'm
this is
not
like a
familiar with him.
yeah, he kind of came out of the bullpen last year. 64 strikeouts and 57 innings pitched. As you can see, kind of a hybrid type of player, both bullpen and a starter. 1.175 ERA, whip, I should say. He also shows up on my stat sheet, on my StatCast sheet. I don't know exactly where though. I'm looking for him on the other screen. I think he might have been on my relief pitcher. Or maybe I dreamt him. Let me see. Let me look it up really quick because I know there was a
Uh,
lot to like about him. Go ahead.
well, what is he? What are they planning to do with him this season? Is he converting to a full-time starter?
I have to assume so. All right, Ian Seymour. Let's I want to just brag a little bit about my Statcast spreadsheet, and Ian Seymour is coded for something. I don't know what yellow means anymore at this point, but there must have been some numbers that I liked about him. Let's see here. Let me scroll down just a little bit. Uh, Pretty healthy strikeout rate. Gives up a very low on base percentage. Does not give up too many hard hits, as you can see from the barrel rate and hard hit rate. 27% whiff rate. Uh, Inside the strike zone swing and miss of 21.4%. It's an orange hue, so orange and reds is what I look for. That's sort of pretty good. He doesn't induce a lot of swings outside the strike zone, doesn't miss a lot. So, but he's hard to hit and he's harder to keep up when he's inside the strike zone, which is pretty rare. So the velocity on his fastball is not what it's cracked up to be. He doesn't have very good stuff in terms of velocity and spin rate, but he finds a way to get it done with, I mean, the low like fastball breaking pitches, like the spin rates on those and the low velocity would explain why he doesn't induce a lot of swings outside the strike zone. But just the fact that he's able to dominate inside the strike zone, there's something to be said about that. I just don't know exactly what it is, but you can't really argue with the results, right? Hitters just weren't able to keep up with him. So, but to your point, what is he gonna do this year? Let's
Because
find
yeah,
out.
all those points you mentioned on the spreadsheet sound great. When you're the team that's when you're the MLB team like the Rays that
Mhm.
have him on your team, but as a fantasy manager, what kind of fantasy value are you actually getting out of him? Because you're
Uh,
looking for stats, uh, not advanced stats on his stuff
yeah, yeah, and
necessarily.
I get that point. So, he's coming out of the bullpen. Uh,
He didn't have any holds or saves last year, so I'm curious what his role is this year.
no, it looks like he's gonna be the guy who, I mean, look at this projected innings pitch, 118 for a reliever. So either mop up
Bullpen,
duty
right?
or he's gonna be piggybacking. I mean, Nick Martinez is kind of the same way, where he could pitch out of the bullpen and be a starter. Steven Matz, I would not be surprised if they utilize him as a reliever as well. So let's see, what were the other stats? Yeah, so you're not getting him because of
Mats
saves.
is looking to be a closer for them. That's interesting. They've got
No,
three guys
yeah,
with closer next to their name, so
it's
closer
the
by committee.
Rays. It's the Rays, right? They don't.
Osita's hurt too.
Yeah, they're an unconventional team, and like great point that you're making. They're not the most friendliest of fantasy teams to go for, both hitting and bullpen and pitching, because they just like to utilize. So I'm on the Fangraphs page here, and what I want to see is if he's projected to get any holds. No. So basically, he's a what they call a spark. Sparks player, a starting pitching slash relief pitching that you can utilize uh at either or. And this is one of the things that probably Aaron was able to manipulate last year better than anybody else en route to a championship was the fact that she knows how to utilize those guys that can come out of the bullpen and either give you a random start or just produce these high numbers um, out of the bullpen. And let me see if I can get a game log here. Let me just, well, I guess I could do it.
Hmm. Definitely not a guy I would stick
Yeah.
into on the active slots week to week.
Oh yeah, you got to choose your spots carefully with a guy like him, right? And you got
It's
to
between bench and active for the whole
exactly.
season.
So, for example, right here, he came in on September 23rd. He didn't start on that September 23rd matchup, but he did pitch 4 innings, although the numbers are not too pleasing here. But if, that's the expectation, right? Let's look at another example. 7 innings pitched, only 3 strikeouts, but he did give you 7 strong innings against the Blue Jays. 5 1/3 against the White Sox on September 11th, 5 strikeouts. He did give up 2 earned runs though, but only gave up 4 hits. Let's see. He mop up duty. He got shelled by the Guardians. Uh, with well, he gave up 5 runs, but he only got penalized for 1 earned run. So he's pitching a lot of innings even when he's not starting. So 3 innings pitch against the Yankees where he got shellacked. So but then against the Giants, 3 1/3 inning out of the bullpen, 4 strikeouts, only 1 walk, only 2 earned runs. So, yeah, so mop up duties, the Sparks player, the guy that can come in, and I think this is part of the reasoning too. 2 innings, 4 strikeouts, 2 1/3, 3 strikeouts. So, nickel and diming. So what Aaron's trying to do here is nickel and diming her way to that minimums innings pitch because it works. She's won championships like that before, so now's a good time to look at her team. What has she been doing? Uh,
He just seems so unpredictable. I don't know if I would
yeah,
ever target him in a fantasy draft unless he starts compiling up one of the counting stats or gets put into the rotation full time.
no, I agree, I agree. But Erin can get away with it. She's been doing it. She's
Yeah,
she's
she
kind
knows
of
what she's
she
doing
knows
apparently.
she knows how to manipulate that. Let's see here. So she has Nate Eovaldi, Max Fried, Zach Gallen, Kevin Gausman. So solid four. I not the biggest Kyle Finnegan fan, but he's proven me wrong time and time again. So who am I? Will Vest, Griffin Jacks, Gavin Williams is a really good starting pitcher. She did take a risk on Blake Snell. Tyler Wells, starting pitcher, sneaky production for the Orioles. Although, is
He's
he
looking for I
starting? Is he gonna start? Okay, so he wasn't used a lot last year.
think
Uh,
injury maybe.
yeah, and he's been injured the last couple of seasons, so maybe she's looking for a bounce back year. So 2 injured guys, Wheeler and Snell. Jason Adam, I mean, we know who Jason Adam is, and she's one of the few teams that stockpiles on relief pitchers, right? Because she likes to use relief pitchers, but you know why? Because she's waiting on these other guys to get healthy. So, but look,
Yeah,
you're seeing it. She's stockpiling on
there's
relief pitchers because she's
not
gonna
a lot
take
of
advantage of those rate
holds
stats. Go ahead.
or not a lot of save getters on her roster unless she's waiting for injuries to come around to closers.
No, not a lot of
Only
saves
closer is
getters,
Finnegan.
but
I don't even think Finnegan's a closer with Kenley Jansen on Detroit.
no, but I mean, he might be next in line. Will Vest might be next in line, so she's
Jackson.
insuring herself. But the holds are going to be there. The low
Yep.
rate stats are going to be there. 57
Yep.
strikeouts and 58 innings pitched, so the strikeouts are going to be there. The K versus walk ratios are going to be there, and that's all she's trying to do. I mean, that's how she's been winning. As you can see, she gave up getting any more starting pitchers because she figures that she's set, but she's gonna just utilize the relief pitchers on those days where she doesn't have enough starts. She's not gonna go into waiver wire and get whatever scrub that's available. She's not gonna play the matches because she has enough relief pitchers here to kind of get you to what's the new threat? I think I raised it up to 15 innings pitched or 16 maybe, especially in a league like this. I mean, the average was about 20, 21, 22 innings pitched per matchup in this league. But people are wait, oh, but, it's so unpredictable and things can happen and injuries can happen. So, you know, but it's worked for her. This is the way she's been winning. She's won 3 times already. Uh, I can't do it. I still like this. I usually have one of the best starting rotations, best pitching staffs in the league because I know how to manipulate the starting pitching situation. I know how to pick my starting pitchers. I know how to pick my relievers. But yeah, there's a science to it, Noah. There's a science to it. This is the other extreme, right? This is the extreme going just full relief pitchers. You might see her just start 4 or 5 relief pitchers and only 2 starting pitchers or 3 starting pitchers because she's gonna nickel and dime her way to that qualifier, that innings minimum, and she's gonna get the holds. She's gonna get the low rate stats. So yeah, it's a strategy that she's utilized better than anybody, and I think Jet to a lesser extent is really good at that too. I mean, which that's why I'm raising the innings minimum because I don't agree with this. Like I still think that the premium position at pitching is starting pitcher over relief pitcher. And if I see that guys are like that the numbers show that these guys that the 12 owners in this league know how to set a starting pitching lineup and they know how to get to that minimum, I'm gonna keep raising the inning qualifier until I see some plateau that shows that okay, I think we reached the limit. Plus, starting pitcher, as you know, I mean, it's a catch 22, Noah. I'm sorry, I'm yammering on here, but this is something I've been thinking about for a long time. Starting pitching has kind of dropped in quality, right, over the last few years because of the rule changes and just arms getting injured. Meanwhile, these relief pitchers are kind of flourishing in very short spurts. But that's the problem. It's very short spurts. Like we should be awarding guys who can actually go 4 or 5 innings pitch and not just go full tilt for 1 inning and get the 3 strikeouts and get the fancy, sexy rate stats. Like this should just be like you should utilize relief pitchers for your 3 relief pitching slots and the occasional fourth relief pitcher to help you on those matchups where you don't have enough starting pitchers and waiver wire doesn't have any viable options. But if you're gonna do it the other way, you're just doing bullpen games all the time, then that is a problem because that's not what the spirit of the league is. It should be starting pitcher is the premium of the two, relatively speaking, starting pitching versus relief pitching. And relief pitching should just be there for your saves and holds and for the occasional, trying to get to that qualifier. I don't know. Am I thinking too much about this? Is this an issue with you? Do you care? Do you not care? What do you think about the I don't know, the the evolution of pitching in this league? Go ahead.
I mean, if it works for her, that's great. It's not something I would ever trust myself
Yeah.
because I think I mentioned it earlier. To me, relief pitchers are just so inconsistent year to year. You
Mm,
often find starters are a little more consistent on a year to year basis, so I prefer going with the starters. Also, relief pitcher has a bad day, and you have a lot of relief pitchers, they can end up having a bad day. That really hurts your rate stats. Pitchers, reliever gives up 3 runs in an inning, and that really hurts your rate stats as opposed to a starter gives up 3 runs in an outing. You're okay, depending on innings, but usually relievers are going to have less innings, and that hurts your rate stats a bit more.
right. Let's see here. Well, to her credit, she did get Zach Gallen in the next round. There's Ozzy Alves. We talked about him. We're about halfway through the draft. Let's see if we can pick up the pace a little bit. See if we get to at least the 20th round here. I like the Eric Cabrera pick. Uh, this one kind of hurts the Francisco Alvarez pick because I thought I was gonna get him in this round, and then Sean. I forgot that Sean was a Mets fan, honestly, because once I saw Andrew get Ozzy Albies, I thought to myself, hey, maybe I can get Francisco Alvarez as my third catcher. And then Sean's like, well, I can't believe you guys took this long to pick Alvarez, man. I can't believe that. And I'm like, yeah, I can't believe it either. So Christian Yelich ends up being my fallback option. Whatever. It's 35-year-old who could hit home runs and steal bases.
You had a
And
pretty good year last year, right?
yeah, yeah, but he's been hurt a lot the last couple of years before that. I mean,
Back injuries.
yeah, the back injuries, although he did play 144 games in 2023, 154 games in 2022, but
150 last year.
yes, you're correct. And the one thing that for sure Yelich can
MVP's good.
do, I'm sorry, what?
his OBP is pretty good.
I was just to point that out. That's the one thing that it will always be a guarantee with Christian Yelich is that he will post a very good on base percentage. So even in his days with the Marlins when he was developing, he was hitting, he wasn't giving you explosive, gaudy counting stats, but he always gave you a good on base percentage. Anyway, there's Brandon Donovan. We talked about him. Austin Wells, kind of a sneaky pick for James Pinos, Cade Horton. That one hurt a lot. I thought I was gonna get him on the backside. On the
He
backside.
just had a big game tonight.
Yeah, how'd he
Struck
do?
out 10 in 5 innings.
Son of a
One,
bitch.
I think one run. I think when we double check, my brother sent me it.
Okay.
Yeah, one earned run, 5 innings, 10 strikeouts,
Oh, that's gonna haunt
one
me.
walk.
That's gonna haunt me. Maybe I should have gotten Cade Horton over Christian Yelich. Shane McClanahan going to Henry's team, and then he pairs that up with Carlos Correa, which we don't like at all. McClanahan even comes with some question marks, but Henry's been doing some questionable picks, but at the same time, you can't fault him for making those picks. It's a high risk, high reward. So, you could play it safe, but if you play it too safe, you're just gonna pick a seventh place team every year, sixth place team, fifth place team every year. So sometimes you need to make those calculated risk. I love the Carter Jensen pick here by James Carter. Jensen ended up getting some decent Statcast figures last year, and it looks like he might be the starting catcher for the Royals now that Salvador Perez is going to move to DH and first base,
Mm.
right? I know we were just on
Yeah,
the
I think so.
page.
I don't know a whole lot about Carter Jensen or their catching
Yeah,
situation.
let's take a look really quick. There he is, Carter Jensen. Ooh, I just clicked on his name by accident. No, I didn't. There's Carter Jensen, 733 ops from a catcher. That's pretty good. It did go. Why did it do that? What is going on? Why is it?
Aguilar
The hell
was a
is this?
catcher turned outfielder, isn't he?
Who? I'm sorry, who?
Aguilar.
Who is that?
He's their right fielder.
Oh, no, I'm not sure. I honestly, I only know Jack Caglione as just what the hell? Get What is going on here? I just know him as an outfielder, Caglione, but
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe you might be onto something. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I've only known him as an outfielder this whole time. Carter Jensen, 22, 23 years old. As mentioned, pretty high ops projection for a guy who's this young. Doesn't have a lot of experience. He's listed as DH, but come on, we all know that Perez's days as a catcher are numbered. His advanced stats at catcher are pretty have been pretty bad for the last 5 years or so. The only saving grace is his arm. So, and then Jensen might be the catcher of the future. I don't see any other catcher listed here. It shows that he's platooning with someone. So, is he platooning with Salvador Perez then? Is that what it is, or are any of these
I
guys?
think so.
Yeah,
I
because I
think
don't
he's
think
platooning with Perez.
because any of these bench guys they're not catchers. So, and then anybody injured? No. And then you got to look at the catchers at AAA. Who's catching at AAA? Jorge Alfaro. I mean, we know who he is. Elias Diaz. We know who he is. So they got
Yep.
option. Luke Maley.
Veteran guys
But
that
they're
could back up if someone gets hurt.
Yeah, but they're old as dirt. So you might as well give the young guy a chance. Their
Yeah.
days are behind them. Ernie Clement goes to Pinos' team. I never know what to make of Clement, but we'll give it to him. Marcus Simeon maybe bounce back year for the Mets. Going to the Mets fan here, and Jacob Moses. I go with Jack Flaherty. Cardinal fan Mike goes with Matthew Boyd. Were you gonna look to get Matthew Boyd in this round or no?
I don't think I was looking at him yet. I don't think I was looking at him yet. I don't know. I don't know how well he's going to do coming off of pitching an innings high from last year.
Yeah, that's always a risk. And Sean's pissing me off because I was hoping to get Wilson Contreras in one of these rounds, and he
That
already got
ballpark
Luis
might benefit
Arias.
him.
I'm sorry, what?
That Fenway might benefit Contreras
That's what I was
because he's
thinking
like a
too.
double. He's like a 20 home runs doubles type of guy. I think
Yeah,
that
and
ballpark fits him pretty well.
I wanted to pair him up with Christian Walker because Christian Walker wasn't my first choice. It was Contreras, but I felt like I had to draft. So that's I'm already
I would have
doing.
definitely taken Contreras over Walker.
I'm already committing the biggest cardinal sin that I don't feel like you have to pick a guy just because you have to. In this case, I kind of fell in love with the fact that Christian Walker might get me 30 home runs because he's done it before. And Wilson Contreras comes with some injury risk, a little bit of injury risk, but he is
A little
moving
bit.
to first base and DH and moving to Fenway. He is 35, but so is Christian Walker. But it would
Oh
have been a
man, he's
nice
35
one-two
already.
punch. I'm sorry, what?
He's 35 already.
Let me double check. Oh, I'm sorry, 33. My bad. But he just seems like he's been in the league forever. But yeah, I'm kind
Yeah.
of shocked. It only seemed like it was yesterday that he got called up by the Cubs to be the spark plug at catcher for their 2016 World Series championship run. But yeah, I wanted to pair him up with Christian Walker. That didn't happen. Oh well. Andrew Abbott, I like that pick.
I
Josh
like
Smith,
Andrew.
and
Yep.
go ahead.
I like Andrew Abbott pick too.
Yeah. Why did you get Ryan Jeffers over Logan O'Hoppe?
Just things I've heard and things I've heard about Hoppy, I just haven't feel like he hasn't impressed me too much, I
Hmm.
guess. I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like my feeling about Ohapi, I guess, has been a little off. I don't know. I haven't really looked at him too much, but I think it's just because he's underwhelmed the people who thought higher of Ohapi.
Yeah,
I kind of avoided him.
his story is that he worked his ass off to be a highly touted catching prospect.
Mm,
And of course the Phillies were able to flip him for Brandon Marsh if memory serves me correctly. But yeah, Logan O'Hop was supposed to give you like 20 home runs, which he has, but he's also supposed to provide you with a better batting average than what he has shown. So that's been disappointing. He's supposed to have better back control, better understanding of the strike zone, which these numbers show that he doesn't have a good understanding of the strike zone as a batter. Already 345 strikeouts in 4 seasons. Although, as you can see, it's been kind of fluctuating up and down. But I think the better way to do it,
he's lost almost 100 OPS between past two seasons.
yeah. And he's been striking out every three at bats,
Yeah,
which that's not good.
that's just the guy sitting in my catcher slot hurting my rate stats, to be honest. I think Jeffers was a little better. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I mean he limits his strikeouts, but
OBP's at 356.
yeah, but he doesn't give you much power, and there's wasn't really a lot of competition for him last year, because I feel like a lot of the catchers that would kind of suck away his playing time were gone, and so that's kind of disappointing that he now only has 9 home runs. I don't know what was his deal last year because we know he's done 21 home runs, although it came at the expense of a very low on batting average and on base percentage. But at least you got your 21 home runs. He had 14 home runs in 2023, which that might be the sweet spot for him, but it could be also. I mean, he's only 28 years old, so I'm not quite sure what the issue here is because we've seen him be somewhat productive before. So I don't know. It's kind of mysterious to me. Look at his 2020 season. Only 3 home runs in 55 at bats, but 273 batting average, 355 on base, 436 slugging. So he's off to a very promising start to his career in 2020 during the COVID year. And then it's just been kind of inconsistent, but he had to share playing time with other people. I think Garvner was it? Gavner?
Garver.
Yeah, most notably him. And then if you want to look at the Twins situation, I'm not trying to talk you out of it because I've always been a
Yeah.
fan of Ryan Jeffers, but we're just kind of waiting for him to
I think I
kind
was
of
looking at his rate stats when I picked him.
yeah.
Well,
Who's the backup here? Who the hell's the backup? I don't see the backup. No, he
I
can't
have
be the. Oh, Carantini maybe.
no idea. Maybe that's
Yeah,
probably it.
yeah, right. Because I don't think these other guys are catchers. And is anybody hurt? No.
Who are they going to put
Alex,
at DH?
I'm sorry, what?
Who are they going to play at DH?
Victor Carantini. This is what it look. I mean, Austin Martin is a good one to consider, but I guess Carantini is a switch hitter, so maybe that's why he's listed as DH for right now. I would do Austin Martin to be honest, but they got him playing a platoon with Trevor Larnach. But Austin Martin has shown little by little that he can utilize some of those contacts. So remember, in his draft year, he was considered the most ready bat of his class. I think he went 14th overall that year, and he just comes with a lot of high contact skills. And I think he even showed that he could steal some decent amount of bases. 11 stolen bases is the projection for this year, according to this Fangraphs projection here. I think they used, I forgot which system they use, but it's definitely a projection that's used universally used by a lot of people. So that's what I would do if I were the Twins, but I'm not the Twins. So, and he's still 27 years old, Austin Martin. But yeah, it looks like it's Caratini and Ryan Jeffers at catcher for the Twins there. All right, let's move on. We saw that Aaron get Blake Snell, and she pairs him up with Dalen Lyle, sneaky outfielder for the. I almost called them the Redskins. Sneaky outfielder for the Nationals. Sorry about that. I love the Robert Suarez pick this late. So Andrew trying to get his holds guy in there. You going with Colson Montgomery was pretty shocking to me. Um, you're not concerned about the high strikeouts with this guy?
Not really, especially I kind of looked at how I put my lineup together. It's not, or my roster doesn't have too many high strikeout guys
Okay.
like him, so I feel like kind of outweighs. Pretty good for potential production from a middle infielder. I feel
And I
like fairly high on him.
and I see these other picks too. They're some pretty good picks here. And I think the 12th round is a lot of guys finding their groove finally getting comfortable. They're getting players that they want to get. Although Bryson Stott, I needed a second baseman. Again, don't Cardinalson, don't get the player you think you need to get the player that you want to get. But I'm starting to open up to the idea of Bryson Stott being on my team because he does come with a little bit of pop on his bat and definitely comes with a lot of stolen base potential. 24 last year, 32 stolen bases in 2024 with an improving on base percentage, improving ops. This is the reason I don't get him though, because of the low ops that he got in 2024. But
Yeah,
yeah, he's kind of up and down in that regard. But if the Phillies are gonna keep putting him out there at second base, then I'm okay with it. And if he could just continue to give me at least a 700 ops, I'd be happy with that. Especially coming out from my middle infield position, but that's why you kind of pair up Bryson Stott with a guy like Luke Keeschel, who has high contact rate, has good on base percentage skills, and can potentially get you 15, 15, 20, 20 in terms of the home runs and stolen bases. So at least that's what the hope is. So yeah, a lot to like it here, and these not a lot of negatives to say about the 12th round. I like the 12th round picks here. Matt McLean going finishes off the draft in the 12th round with Henry. I know Henry's always liked Matt McLean. And then he gets Carlos Narvaez, which, yeah, that's desperation time for Henry there. I don't like that pick at all. Um, anyway, I talked plenty here. Is there a player you want to talk about in the 13th round here?
I think Casey Mize has some pretty good potential.
He's always had pretty good potential. He's former number one pick overall for the Tigers.
Yeah, still
Uh,
think still think he's got some more left he can prove.
yeah, slowly but surely he's
Starting to
coming
get
onto
back,
his. I'm sorry,
yeah,
what?
yeah. I was kind of going along with what you were saying. He's slowly kind of proving that he belongs.
Yeah, I didn't know he went to Auburn. So he was a Tiger before and a Tiger now. But yeah, he's becoming a decent, serviceable mid-rotation starter, but that's not why the Tigers drafted him. But at this point, they're just trying to salvage anything they can get for the guy, any
Yep.
production they can get from Casey Mize. The player I want to discuss, if I want to, I mean, I want to point out that I did get Kyle Manzardo, so I lost out on Wilson Contreras and the Luis Arises of the world, but I ended up getting Kyle Manzardo, who hit about 27 home runs last year, I believe. Let me double
Definitely some
check that.
upside with him.
There's always been upside with Kyle Manzardo, right? So you're right about that.
I think
27
I
home
picked him
runs.
up last year at some point. It's in some league.
Yeah. He's only 25 years old. So yeah, the upside potential is there. So I'm not nice little consolation prize there. Noah Cameron is an interesting pick, but Jack Leiter is kind of a post-hype sleeper. So decent pick there by James. He's projected to get some decent numbers this year. 29 starts last year for the Texas Rangers. I did not even notice that he was getting 29 starts last year. So
I didn't either.
talk about sleeper, but he did post up some decent strikeout totals. The strikeout per walk ratio could be better, especially from a guy like him who's highly touted. But everything else, 3.86 ERA, the 1.28 WHIP is a step in the right direction, and we know that he comes with a lot of upside here. So very good pick there by James. Very sneaky by him getting him. I also like the Lawrence. I get Lawrence Butler in all my mock drafts, and of course in both of my real drafts, I strike out on him. So make it make sense. The Garrett Cole pick was also pretty shrewd by Andrew O'Sullivan there, and Andrew would pair Garrett Cole with Mitch Keller. So you take the good with the bad. The 14th round leaves a lot to be desired. I'm not liking any of these picks. I was thinking about getting Jose Soriano, but I've been burned by Jose Soriano so many times. I decided not to get him. But yeah, this 14th round, I don't like Dennis Santana. I don't like Chad Patrick. I don't like Mitch Keller. I don't like Kerry Carpenter. I do like the Caleb Durbin pick. And I didn't realize Merrill Kelly was old as dirt. I thought he was like 33, 34 years old. He's 37.
Yeah,
But
he's old.
he's just old reliable. He was hurt last
Yep.
year, but when he's healthy, I mean, he's just a very tough guy for hitters to figure out.
Workhorse.
I'm sorry, what?
He's a workhorse type guy.
Yeah, although he's been hurt of late, 22 games
A
in
little
20.
bit, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, 32 games last year. I hate when they split it like that. I wish they give us the option to split it
Oh
ourselves.
yeah, I forgot. Is he? Oh, he's back with Arizona, right?
Yeah. He's back with Arizona, but 13 games in 2024. But yeah, you're right. 30, 33, 27 games starts. Yeah, five. Well, the Kobe year doesn't count, but yeah, he's always been, like you said, a workhorse. So that's what I'm banking on. Although I think he has a back problem, is what it was. Let's see. Yeah, he has a back problem. So it's not his arm, it's not his shoulder. So that's a good thing. So I like the. So aside from my
His
pick, I do
age.
like the Caleb Durbin pick. The Dylan Cruz pick is an interesting one. Anybody else you see that's of interest to you?
I
And I'm
know
sorry,
with my
the
pick
14.
there, I did like I liked Chad Patrick's strikeout numbers. I think that's what I had him a little bit last year too, and he's
Yeah.
I've heard he's earned a spot in a rotation.
All right. Let me take another look at this guy. Maybe I'm misremembering him. I don't know. 23 starts. Okay. Yeah, 127 strikeouts. He just every time I keep an eye on him, he's just so damn inconsistent. And of course, you look at this overall makeup, and these are some pretty good numbers to your point there. And even the one, let me see, 127 divided by 40 walks. That's a really good walk to strikeout ratio. And then and I guess the last hurdle is, do the Brewers believe in him as much as we do? So meaning, is he really a starting pitcher, or is he going to be one of
Yeah.
those hybrid players? So let's find out what the Brewers have in
I
mind here.
think I
S-
read he's made a rotation. He's going to make a rotation spot,
oh yeah, there he is, number three on the
especially
books
with
there.
uncertainty about Woodruff, and I think there's another guy that's also battling some injury in the rotation.
Quinn
I think he's.
Priester.
Yep. That's Priester and Woodruff are both kind of day to day. Not
And
sure how they're going to be status wise, so he's going to get a rotation spot there.
and never underestimate the Brewers maybe wanting to give Aaron Ashby yet another chance at the rotation. Logan
Yeah.
Henderson is the other guy that I'm not seeing here, but he's hurt too. DL Hall was supposed to be a starter, but I guess they weren't able to figure out. But never give up on the idea that the Brewers might convert him into a starting pitcher one of these days. I would not put it past them. Let's look at the AAA guys, because the Brewers are usually loaded at AAA with pitchers, because that's their MO these days, right? Where is it? Yeah, there's Logan Henderson. So Robert Gasser, we still can't give up hope on him, and I don't know these other guys, but they're, as you can see, they were highly ranked in their system last season. The Coleman Crows, the Carlos Rodriguez's of the world. There's Drew Rom, former Orioles player. I think he was also a Nationals player, maybe. I'm misremembering things. Anyway, let's go back to our list here. So maybe I'm underrating Chad Patrick. It just seems like every time I would look at him, he was. I mean, what is it? Yeah, like right here, it's only two strikeouts, but he came out of the bullpen that game. Although that shouldn't count. That's September 20th. Oh, but look, you see, every time you think he's on the rotation, then they send him back to the bullpen, right?
Yeah, I
Uh,
think I was definitely having to streamline him last year
so you did the Ian Seymour thing that Aaron does. You had to do it yourself too, right? So,
a little
but
bit.
Look at this: 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, but only 4 strikeouts. Uh, and then against the Marlins on July 5th, 2 strikeouts in 5 innings. Didn't give up a lot of runs, so that's a good thing. So yeah, it just he just fluctuates a lot. Yeah, these are good games right here. And then you get to the Braves, 8 strikeouts, that's good. But he gave up 5 earned runs and 7 hits in 5 innings pitched. So a lot of up and down with his game. But I will say this: the Brewers do a good job of making making something out of nothing from these pitchers here. Let's move on. So I guess that all that to say is I like the second half of the 14th round better than I like the first half of the 14th round. All right, let's see. Luis
Garrett
Gill.
Whitlock there is probably gonna be a pretty end up being a pretty good pick
Yeah, I mean we saw him. He closed out the game against Mexico, I believe, and he looked pretty good. He posted 24 holds last year.
on the
Eh,
hold against the DR too.
or maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe it was the DR. No, Mason Miller was the one who shut down the DR, wasn't it?
No, he got the hold. He went the eighth inning.
Oh, I see. My bad, my bad. I misheard you.
I think he mowed down the toughest part of their lineup. I think I'm not
Yeah,
100% sure, but
yeah, and I think the Brewers for a long time were trying to convert him into a starting pitcher, and I think they just gave up on that last year, but they found out that they had a pretty damn good relief pitcher as well. So who got okay, so Jet again, Jet's notorious for picking up relief pitchers, whether it's auto or not auto drafted. Let's go. Luis Gill going to the Yankees fan, and Henry, Brett Beatty going to the Mets fan, and James Hannabold. Will Warren going to the Yankee fan, and James in Florida. So we're seeing a heavy dose of a homer picks, and then Joe Adell. So one of these, and then Shane Smith going to the White Sox fan, right? And me, I like Shane Smith. Um, not the
I took him
most
in the other league.
I noticed. So not the sexiest of picks, but he's gonna be the opening day starter. He's a default best pitcher on the White Sox, and he's just a gamer, man. He just goes out there and competes. We gotta respect that. So, but yeah, one of these things don't match here. All the homer picks, and then Joe Adell, who comes with a lot of baggage, but again, high upside with the county stats. I
Good
was
exact stats, bad rate stats for Odell. That's what the rate stats kind of threw me off with him.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. Colton Cowser, I like that pick. I just didn't know when to pull the trigger on him. Plus, I was trying to build my starting rotation spot because that's how I build my teams. Another homer pick, Kodai Senga going to the Mets fan, and Sean. Let's see what else. I like the Brian King pick, even though it's the auto draft. But again, this is Jad stockpiling on relief pitchers because him and Aaron are the best at doing that. Probably the reason why he ends up going to the championship game last season. Kyle Teal. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it. Maybe he could be my third catcher because I keep striking out on all these catchers, and you're like, hamstring or no hamstring, I'm gonna get Kyle Teal. So that's
I'm throwing Edgar Quero in there to start the season until Teal's ready.
so you ended up getting Edgar Quero.
I think so. I believe so.
Okay, well, I mean
Pretty
that's the
late,
way to
but
go.
yeah,
What? What were you saying? I'm
it,
sorry.
it was pretty late in the draft, but that I took care of. I'm pretty sure I took him in this league to supplement for Teal.
And that's the way you got to do it, right? If you're gonna draft Kyle Teal, you gotta handcuff him to Edgar Quero.
Hmm.
Royce Lewis and Xander Bogaerts. I like Xander Bogaerts this year, especially how late he's getting picked. So that's pretty good. John Ho Lee, who is always highly ranked. I don't know if you noticed, but he's always has a high score in this league for some odd reason. Even though he doesn't provide much power, I don't think he provides much stolen bases, but he provides a little bit of everything else. And I think that's why the projections at Fantrax like him. Decent on base percentage for a guy who's still kind of trying to figure out his way around this baseball league, major league Major League. 31 doubles, 12 triples. You talk about a guy who takes advantage of his home park dimensions. So that's the other reason why. I'll give this credit to Erin. She's very good at finding out these, getting production from these sneaky picks. Like 12 triples from Jung Hoo Lee, I would have never guessed. I don't think of him as a speed guy, but he definitely has a good batting eye. But yeah, he doesn't not the sexiest of picks, but he has very sneaky. He produces in other ways that you wouldn't think
51
about.
extra base hits.
I'm
That's
sorry, what
not
was?
too shabby. 51 extra base hits from your center fielder is not too shabby.
Yeah, yeah, it's just very underrated. But and this is what I'm talking about. Let me show you again. Uh, this is what I mean about the score. 85.5 is pretty relatively high, right? Because you got
Yeah.
some bigger names who have a lower score. So that's the thing you got to bet on. Like, do you trust the Fantrax score? Yes or no? If you don't trust them, then you don't like a Jung-Hoo Lee. But if you do trust it, then yeah, you're like Aaron, and you got to pull the trigger on Jung-Hoo Lee, which I'm surprised Sean didn't get to him beforehand. Andrew Vaughn getting his namesake. You say Kikuchi, but I say Kakachi. It's still a favorite joke of mine. Who the hell is Connolly Early? I Too early for me is what it is.
Rookie, rookie that's on the outside bubble for the Red Sox opening day
Oh
rotation
wow.
job. He's
Oh
got good
shit.
stuff.
Oh man, how did I sleep on this guy? Man.
I took
Oh
him late in the other league,
yeah. All right. Well, I
later than
stand
this,
corrected.
but
How did I miss
I
him
don't know
on
if
this
he's going to
guy?
get an opening day rotation spot. That's my only concern.
Well, he qualifies for minor league protection. Robert
Yep.
Garcia going to Angels team. That's a good, decent pick. Tyler Rogers. And again, Matthew Liberatore going to Mike's team because Cardinal fans going to Cardinal fan. Maybe
Mhm.
he, I don't know. Did he is he because he had an issue with walking, with giving up a lot of walks last year or in years prior. Did he fix that issue? It looks like he might have.
40 and
So
151 innings, not terrible. 40 to 122.
yeah,
Kind of high.
yeah. I just know that that was an issue when he was in the minors that he was walking too many
Strikeouts are
guys.
kind of low. I thought he was more of a strikeout guy. I guess not. Maybe I had him confused with Mackenzie Gore.
Yeah, well, the problem there is that he has to, he has a command issue. So I think part
Yeah.
of trying to fix his command issue is giving up on those strikeouts. So, and trying to, and not a command, control it. I mean, there's a difference between command and control, but yeah, if you're giving up a lot of walks, you have a control issue. If you're giving up a lot of hits, you have a command issue. As crazy as that sounds, right? So I
I've never
accidentally
thought
clicked on
about it
Angel's
that way.
team. I'm sorry, what?
I've never thought about it that way.
Yeah, I read that about that. It
Makes sense.
just I read about that from an old blurb from one of the Roto websites, one of the big ones. I forgot which one, but that's how they try to break it down. And I know other people have other ideas about it, but yeah, control is can you limit your walks? Command is how much can you manipulate the ball in and out of the strike zone? Can you
Mm.
make hitters swing at pitches you don't want them to swing? Is how I interpret it. Whereas control is you're just simply not giving up for you're not giving up walks. As dumb as that
Certain dis-
sounds. Go ahead.
certain discussions that I think they can be interchangeable, but that
Hmm.
does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, you hear from like people in the industry use them as two separate entities. Like there's a control aspect and a command aspect. And I'm sure there's other things. I mean, I also you may or may not know, but I also break it down to two parts with pitchers. Either you're a crafty pitcher or you're a guy with electric stuff, and you gotta find a way to get those two extremes in the middle, and that's where you get like some of the best pitchers in the league, right? Like the Garrett Coles of the world when he's healthy. He's electric stuff, but he has enough craft to be somewhere of a balanced pitcher. And I guess on one extreme, Kyle Hendricks when he was with the Cubs doesn't have the most electric stuff, but he has high craft. He's a very highly crafty pitcher, but he just doesn't. His stuff doesn't jump off the page, right? And a guy with stuff, I don't know. I think we mentioned guys like Shane Baz before. Trying to think who else. Edward Cabrera now with the Cubs. He's always had electric stuff. Just has to, you know, kind of a polish his. He just needs a little bit more polish in his game. Anyway, I get Trent Grisham because he's a left-handed hitter who plays center field for the Yankees. Did you know he had 30 home runs last year? I didn't know.
I did because I think I took him in the other league.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
think I
not.
did.
Yeah,
I know
and
I was looking at him a lot.
I'm not the biggest Trent Grisham fan, but for 34 home runs at Yankee Stadium, sign me up.
You're
Sign
probably
me
looking
up.
at 25 this year at least.
I'll take it.
Still not terrible.
Not sure about this Brady Singer pick. I think he had a decent year last year. Yeah,
I
I
don't think I was sold
guess.
on his rate stats.
Yeah, and then he pitches in
Strikeouts are
Cincinnati.
high. Yeah,
Yeah, so for serviceable mid rotation,
he's
Grayson
better.
Rod.
I think he's better for the Reds than for fantasy.
Yeah. It's good. Innings eater for the Reds. Grayson Rodriguez. I'm hearing nothing but bad things about him. But this is a update from March 14th. So four
Command
strikeouts and four and
issues.
two thirds. What? Back issues?
Command issues. He walked four batters in four and
Ye-
two thirds.
Yeah, yeah, or control
Injury
issues,
issues
whatever.
too.
Well,
Yeah,
because he only gave up two hits, so
control issues.
Kerry Wood is the better example, right? Because he did not give up a lot of hits, but he gave up so many goddamn walks. It was so, especially in the fourth inning. Like that's when he would always self-destruct in the fourth inning, and it just and you look at him like, how is he this bad? I mean, he has a curveball that no one can get to, a slider that just breaks away at the last minute, and a fastball that can reach 100 miles an hour if he really wanted to. And then the fourth inning comes in and he's just getting lit up, and they figured him out, and so that's a guy who I think you would say had
Wildly
commanded
effective.
control issues. Sorry, what?
They say wildly effective.
Wildly well ineffective because he would get pulled after four innings.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good example of a guy with control issues, right? Because if you're not giving up a lot of hits, that means that hitters can't figure out what you're trying to do. But if they start noticing that a lot of the pitches are going outside of the strike zone, then they have no major league hitters do not have a reason to swing at those pitches
Yeah.
unless you're Javier Baez and you're swinging at everything. But that's another story. Anyway, Grayson Rodriguez was one of the best pitching prospects I've ever seen in my life, just from a grade standpoint, from that 80 grade standpoint. 80. It was. I think he had like a 70 fastball, a 60 curveball, and you look at those figures and you just fall in love with it. And his velocity on his fastball is a bit below its established norm at 94.3 miles an hour. It's worth noting that the right-hander is still working his way back into full form, but he's looked healthy and has posted a tolerable 4.97 ERA with 12 punch out, with 10 walks, control issues, over 12 and two-thirds frames. So a little bit of Kerry Wood in him. So yeah, I guess I'm okay with that pick, especially this late in the draft. But I don't know, Ryan Walker. I like that Ryan Walker pick. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I guess you just hope there's still something left in him he can prove.
Yeah, I guess from an upside potential standpoint, Grayson Rodriguez is the way to go. I do like Ryan Nelson though, but Ryan Nelson has strikeout issues where there's a guy who at one point was considered like overly electric, but I think he kind of gave up on that to be having more control and command of his pitches. And I think if I remember, I listened to a podcast before where they were saying that the Diamondbacks just simply want him to just throw it down the middle, just use his stuff and just throw it down the middle and see if they can hit the ball. And if they don't, if they hit the ball, trust your defense because we're not gonna play this game where you're trying to be cute and paint the corners. Your
Mhm.
stuff is electric. Just and that's and slowly but surely that's I've been hearing a lot lately on these some of these podcasts, especially with Eno Saris, who's I don't know if you know who do you even know who Eno Saris is? I don't know if you ever talked about him before. Eno Saris from The Athletic.
I might have heard the name before, but I'm not too familiar.
Yeah, he's formerly of Fangraphs. He's a highly regarded fantasy baseball writer and who specializes in pitching metrics and he actually goes and he actually will go into spring training camps. He'll go to the Arizona Fall League. He'll travel and go to Major League Baseball stadiums and talk to pitchers about pitching. I mean, he could talk about analytics and stats and be nerdy about it, but he I think what makes him so endearing to a lot of these big league pitchers is that he will talk shop with you about pitching. And so he's not just a fantasy writer, he's also an MLB insider, for lack of a better way of putting it. And his thing is that he's been seeing a lot of pitching philosophies around Major League Baseball where they're telling these guys, "Hey, your stuff is really good. Just throw it down the middle. Just throw it down the middle."
Yeah.
Because the eye test shows that you're better off doing it that way. The metrics show that you're better off just doing it that way as opposed to trying to be cute. I'm a sucker for those guys that can make guys swing outside the strike zone, but I think you start to figure out that that skill is not a it's a hard skill to master, right? And I know I'm yammering on like I always do, but I just want to point that out. It's a hard skill to master. So for guys like Ryan Nelson, who's in his mid 20s, although 28 years old now, they grow up so fast there, Noah. They grow up so fast. He's being told, dude, just throw it down the middle. Forget all this cute stuff. Just you're not Greg Maddux. Just down the middle, down the middle.
Kind of like Max Scherzer. I think I heard. he throws a lot of his pitches down the middle, like aims for down the middle, and lets his stuff move the ball,
Yeah, but
cuts the stuff more.
Max Scherzer also has a nasty changeup too that he can manipulate as well, and that's his bread. And from what I remember, that was.
Nelson's
Go ahead.
Nelson's stats look pretty good though.
Yeah, yeah. It's just the strikeouts are
Gives up
kind
a
of
lot of
lacking.
hits.
He gives up a lot of hits.
I think.
Let's find out. Let me go back.
I
I
think. I
wouldn't.
think that's what I saw.
I wouldn't be surprised because if you're throwing them down the middle, then you're just giving hitters a chance to. No, I mean 124 hits. It's not. That's not a lot. I mean, what
Not
is
too
that?
bad.
Yeah, divided by 154 innings pitched. That's 7.2. That's those are like Kerry Wood numbers in 2004, 2003, around thereabouts. That's the thing that made me fall in love with Kerry Wood was that he wasn't giving up a lot of hits, and yeah, it's the lack of strikeouts that kind of
Yeah.
you know, but he 41 walks, that's not really a lot. It's still a healthy 3-to-1 ratio, strikeout to walk ratio. So yeah, it's just the lack of strikeouts. So I guess looking back, Ryan Nelson and this group right here is a quote unquote safe choice and still has a pretty relatively high upside. Grayson Rodriguez is all potential. Brady Singer's middle of the rotation, safe floor, but limited potential. Ryan Walker's I actually like the Ryan Walker pick here as this late in the draft as a closer. Jose Caballero, who qualifies everywhere, it seems like, and is projected to get a lot of stolen bases. So pretty good job there by Henry. And I talked about Ramon Laureano. There, young Noah. I talk so much. I don't want to hog up the space here. So go ahead and tell me if you want to talk about anybody that I had in this. What round are we in? The 17th round. Go ahead.
I think Grant Taylor is an interesting pickup there.
And once again, going to Jets teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is like the Ian Seymour type, right? Like we don't know what his
Yep.
role is. He might be the closer. He might be the eighth inning guy. They want him to. He's Grant Taylor says he wants to throw 100 pitches, and the only way you get to throw 100 pitches from the bullpen is if you actually start the occasional game. Go 4 or 5 innings and stretch out that arm. So and then go back to the bullpen and do your thing there as well. So I was ready to draft him, but I just if you're not if you're a relief pitcher and you're not getting saves or holds, then what are we doing here? Is always my question. So that was my hesitation. And of course, you get Sir Anthony Dominguez, so the famous
Yep.
knight there. So you get the guy who's supposed to be the closer for the White Sox. So, um, but that just goes to show you how guys like Aaron and Jet value these relief pitchers differently than the rest of us do.
Right.
So, and it works for them. So, Will Vest, we saw Aaron get Will Vest. We did focus on our team already. So, I actually got him in the other league as well. So I like Will Vest. Um, Brian Reynolds or Helio Ramos, in your opinion?
I still think I believe in Ryan Reynolds a little bit more.
Yeah, Reynolds might be the safe guy.
Ramos is going to give you a lot of strikeouts, a lot more strikeouts, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Ryan Reynolds is the more polished guy, but Ramos, yeah, he doesn't give you enough stolen bases to put up with that many strikeouts, right? So, let's see here. Just if you see a name in the 18th round, just call it out. I'm gonna say Willie Castro is a very decent pick here for a Jet, just because he qualifies in a lot of positions and can get you double-digit
And
home runs and stolen
I'm
bases,
in
maybe,
Colorado too.
and in
That'll help him.
Colorado too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anybody else?
I like the position versatility of Castro, and he's playing in Colorado. Varsho, I wasn't. I looked at his numbers. I wasn't super fond of.
Yeah, when he came back from injury, he just
His,
beat the crap out of the ball, but then he went back to being Dalton Varsho. Um,
I
but
think his
yeah,
OBP and kind of scared me off of him.
yeah, it's always been an issue with him, but he has a very explosive bat, but
I don't know
that's
how the
all.
Southern got that high with only only 20 home runs and
13
13
doubles.
doubles. Yeah,
Yeah, well, he was injured for a big chunk of the year last year, so he only got to 248 at bats, but um but like I said, when he came back from injury, he was beating the crap out of the ball, man. But after a while, he went back to being Dalton Varsho. So, um, but yeah, that's always been his problem. Lack of contact skills is always been his downfall. But he has a very explosive bat, so I I I wouldn't have picked him, but I don't blame Andrew for doing so. Guys that I like, I love Mason Wynn. I think Mason Wynn's going to surprise some people this year offensively. We already know what the stuff that he can do defensively. I know you're going to say, well, the on base is low and the ops is low, but I think now that he has more experience, he's only 23 years old. Oops, I keep pressing the wrong button there. I think there's a chance that he can get 15, maybe even 15, 15, 20, 20 potentially. I mean, if he gives you 15 and 25 stolen bases, 15 home runs and 25 stolen bases, I think a lot of folks are happy. And I know you want to ask about the doubles. So 32 doubles in 2024, 27 doubles last year. So there's some latent pop in his bat. And
Decent.
I'm sorry, what?
Decent for
Yeah.
the doubles. I like the doubles numbers.
Yeah. So that alone is worth getting. And of course, the Cardinal fans gets him. So, and I think
Yeah.
Raheel got him too in the other draft, I think.
Yeah, he got him. I think he it took him.
Yeah.
We
Right
were
before.
talking about how he didn't take any Cardinals, and then he went and took him. I think.
Yeah, well, that's the guy to get if you're going to be a homer pick about it. I love Ryan Weathers. I've always been a big fan of Ryan Weathers, and I like him this year, so that's why I got him. Jackson Holiday, that one hurt because I was hoping to get him on the back end on the comeback. That's a yeah, yeah. I know his
Good
stock has
upside there.
fallen, but he still has potential. What?
Good upside there with Holiday.
Especially when you consider that Nolan Gorman goes right after him. That's I don't like this pick at all. And Bailey Ober, he suddenly can. I love Bailey Ober. I think he's 6'7", 6'9". And he just a very imposing figure. Gets a lot of ground balls, but he's having issues throwing the ball over 90 miles an hour in spring training this year. So
Oh wow.
yeah, that's a scary thought. Uh, I'm kind of shocked that James Handeboat went with Jojo Romero and not Luke Weaver. So Luke Weaver is not with the Mets, but hand the boat. If there was a time to do a homer pick, that would have been the time to do it. Instead, James Pino, who's a Yankee fan, he's the one who gets Luke Weaver. So kind of shocking how that worked out. And then Otto Lopez going. We just talked about Otto Lopez earlier. Jacob ends up getting him, and I end up getting Riley O'Brien, who doesn't matter if he's gonna get saves or holds. I'm gonna get something out of him. So and kind of a breakout year last year at age 30.
I
But some
wasn't sure about him. I looked at him a few times, and I just wasn't too sure. I read that he might share closing duties with with Romero, but
yeah.
I didn't
Well,
seem too sure on what he was going to do.
Well, I believe Romero is left-handed, and you know how that goes with left-handed pitchers. They just get pigeonholed
Yeah.
everywhere except closer because they need that high leverage arm out of the bullpen against the other team's best left-handed hitters. Moving on here. Ooh, Luis Angel Acuna. Luis Angel Acuna going to
The switch
Sean's
hitter.
team. Shut up. I'm shocked. I mean, I know that Sean's a Mets fan and it's a Mets former Mets prospect, but I'm shocked that Sean gets him because Luis Angel Acuna is the complete opposite of what Sean's been trying to do in this draft. But Sean's the same guy that in one draft got both Ellie De La Cruz and O'Neal Cruz, and we, yeah, it's the complete opposite of what Sean usually does, and so yeah, Sean usually doesn't go after guys like this, but I'm kind of shocked that he did get him. Colt Keith going to Angels team. I still believe in him, but yeah, he needs to show me something soon. Otherwise, I'm gonna give
His
up on him.
stock fell quite a bit, didn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just he's so
Wasn't
damn
he supposed to take?
inconsistent.
Wasn't he supposed to take over first base for
Sec,
Torkelson?
well,
But
no, no, he was supposed to be their second baseman of the future. At the very worst, maybe convert to third base. So the fact that he's now playing mostly corner infield is kind of shocking because he was supposed to be this big hulking power hitting second baseman who could still
oh
be a
no,
slick fielder, and I believe he was supposed to be a slick fielder. But yeah, he's just I mean he's left-handed. And that's why I don't draft too many left-handed bats because they just you put a left-handed pitcher out there and they get neutralized rather easily. Um,
yeah.
so instead of getting Cole Keith, Jet is good with getting Zach McKinstry, who's the
I like that
unsexiest
pick.
picks of all, but yeah, versatile, does a little bit of everything. 11 triples. Jesus Christ. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he led the league in triples, I
Jeez.
think.
Well, the Jungkook League had 12 triples last year, or
Oh,
what
well,
was it?
maybe he led the AL.
Or wait, it's late. It's late. I want to go to bed already. Let's finish up here. I was gonna go look back at Jungkook Lee's stats again, but forget it. There you are, Edgar Carroll. We talked about him already.
Yep.
Uh, Aaron getting Sung Moon Song. I'll be honest, I never heard of the guy, but I'll oh,
I think I've heard his name once.
and then she gets the Blue
Homer.
Jays homer pick, yeah. And so that Andrew O'Sullivan getting the Mets pitcher Sean Manaya. I'm pretty shocked he's dropped this low. There's your JP Crawford pick, as you mentioned earlier. I actually do like the TJ Friedel pick from Jets, so I'm gonna compliment him every once in a while. Yeah, this is a disaster waiting to happen for Angels team. Jacob Lopez.
I looked at him.
I never know what to make of him, but because every time I look at his on his underlying numbers, they're pretty bad. But then he'll give you a game where he'll like strike out seven guys in 7 innings for some reason. Let me see here.
We don't need to look at it now, but
Yeah,
just
right.
thinking about it, I'm curious about his what his splits look like home and away.
Might as well. Or it's already late in the game. Might as
Uh,
well give the people what they want here.
oh, if we can see it here, yeah, I forgot we could view it right here.
He's
Oh,
yeah.
that
Yeah,
that's not what I was expecting
so
as
for those who
for an
can't
athletics pitcher.
for those who can't see, Jacob Lopez pitched better at home in terms of ERA and WHIP than he did on the road. But there's something to be said about pitching at home. Your routine is set and you're comfortable no matter where you are because you're at home and you're coming out of your own apartment or your own house. It's been said a lot numerous times about that, like the advantages of playing at home as opposed to be on the road where you're getting out of the hotel and your sleep cycle's all messed up and your routine is not as fixed as it is when you're pitching from home. So there's a lot to be said about that. So I'm not shocked about it. Yeah, 28 years old, but I think this was his first full season. Yeah,
I
this was
think
his
so too.
first full season. Otherwise, he's gotten cups of coffee before. But yeah, he's a weird one because he'll give you, let me get out of this. He'll give you like just amazing games here
And
of
strikeouts.
10 strikeouts, 9 strikeouts, 8 strikeouts, and then he'll come back 2 strikeouts in 2 innings, albeit. Oh, and then he got shut down the rest of the season by the Athletics after he didn't pitch in September is what I'm trying to say. And same thing in July 26th against a very tough Astros team. Well, usually it's a tough Astros team. 4 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 4 innings pitched. Didn't give up any runs, but he obviously got pulled out too early before he could do any more damage to himself. The previous
Walked.
game against the Rangers on the road, again on the road, 6 strikeouts, 5 earned runs, and 5 innings pitched. So it's a lot of up and down for me. But I
Yeah,
was thinking about it this year because he figured that he has 1 year of experience under his belt, so he should be better.
opposite of his teammate that was picked shortly after him.
Well, Luis Severino,
Yeah, I think Severino was the opposite splits wise.
let's find out. That's good. That's actually a good thing to look at here. Yeah,
Yep.
Severino was worse at home than he was on the road. I think he also complained about having to pitch in a minor league ballpark as well. Um,
He
so,
signed there.
yeah, because that's the only team that was willing to give him a big contract, right? So,
Yeah,
I did pick Weiler Abreu here. I love Weiler Abreu. I know
I like the pick.
left-handed bat, but he could be. He has a very explosive bat. Oh, I hate when this happens,
Short
but
wall and right field.
he only qualifies in right field, but I've seen him qualify elsewhere before as well. But yeah, 22 home runs, uh, 786 ops, 781 ops the year before in 2024. So, and the Red Sox keep, giving him chances, 33 doubles as well in 2024. So there's a lot more potential there. 26 years old only. I was gonna look at something else. Oh yeah, the other thing I want to look at is where else has he played? Oops. I was just trying to see if there was a better way to do it, but no. Let's go down all the way down. All the way down. So in 2024, I mean, you see that he's not a lot of games, but he's played elsewhere, left field, center field, and he's made his home in right field. Although I'm sure he's going to be a part of a platoon system, but I'm banking on the idea that this is the year that he takes a step forward and just grabs that position by the horns, right? I love the Mora AJ Mora home pick by James Pinos. I love the Jordan Westbrook. I'm a big fan of Jordan Westbrook. I wasn't aware that he was hurt, but we do have three IL slots, so I didn't realize he had an elbow injury. But that's
Yeah.
okay. We know what he can do, Jordan Westbrook. And then Henry pairs up Jordan Westbrook with Elmer Fudd Rodriguez. I don't know who that guy is, but we're running out of time. Let's get going.
Apparently he does. He's a Yankees prospect.
Yankees prospect. I should have known better. Anybody that you want to talk about here in the 21st round?
Not particularly. I know I thought about Cody Ponce, but I didn't really know much about him. I
Yeah,
feel like I just saw something positive about him at one point.
yeah, he had a pretty good year in the Korean League last year, but he did struggle in the
Mhm.
Japanese League. So that
That's
kind
what it
of
was.
was a cause for concern. Like because the Korean League is considered to be a lower level than the Japanese League. At least that's my understanding of it. And the fact that he struggled in the Japanese League, and then he was actually sent down to the minors in the Japanese League based on some of the overviews that I've been reading about him. But then he kind of dominates the Korean League, and now he's back in the States or in North America playing in Major League Baseball. That's just a big, too much of a leap of faith for me to take. I mean, I took a
Yeah.
second baseman anyway, so it doesn't matter because I felt like I needed another middle infielder to really solidify uh, my hitting issues. So that's why I drafted Andres Jimenez. As I figured he was the last decent middle infielder that was still available. Michael Waka. Otherwise, I would have gone after Michael Waka if Jimenez wasn't around. But Angel gets Michael Waka, so you get Seth Lugo. You talked about him already. Freddie Fermin, the catcher. Yeah, this is what happens when you wait a little longer. Which I'm shocked that Aaron waited a long, because she's notorious for going early. Do we still have her team up? Let me see. Because
I
she's the one.
remember she went early last year with catchers.
Although she
She had
did
like
keep.
Sal Perez and someone else last year.
Yeah, she kept Cal Raleigh and Atlee Rushman. So she's set,
She just wanted a third string guy just in case
I guess, but not.
Rushman gets hurt, I guess.
All right, whatever. I mean, uh, it's fine. Whatever. Let's get going. It's Freddie
Be
for me.
worried about Rushman's
You know
struggles.
what? Freddie for me will give you a decent batting average. I'll give her that. Right? Let's see. Yeah, okay. Fairly decent. Oh wait, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, I mean, for me with the Royals, he once posted a 281 average, a 271 average. Last year with both the Padres and the Royals, he posted a 251 average. At one point, he was supposed to be the heir apparent to Salvador Perez. Obviously, that did not happen because they got a new guy in town. We talked about the fact that she has all these relief pitchers, and Phil Matone being one of them. This might be something here. Hunter Green in the 22nd round, as people are kind of wary about him, right? So,
Yeah, for sure.
and it looks like, it's my turn to draft. Oops. Oh shit. Okay, hold on. Let me go in the draft. I don't know
Hurry
how much
up.
time I got left. I got
The
like
clock
5 minutes left, I
stops.
bet. Oh, I got 3 hours left. Okay, cool. Let's get that out of the way. Who do I have? I don't even know who I have at this point. Let's see. I gotta shrink this. I'm sorry. Hold on. It's gonna be hard to see for the people on YouTube. But I got to see who I have on my roster because I can't remember anymore. Oh God. Oh, there it is. So Yanner Diaz, Alejandro Kirk are my catchers. Christian Walker, Luke Keeschel, Jose Ramirez, Zach Nato, Noel Marte. Okay, we talked about that. I talked about my outfield. Yeah, I got Christian Yelich. I think I'm pretty set. Oh, I need a relief pitcher. This is the last round.
Yes, sir.
All right. Who I got people on my queue. Who do I have on my queue at relief pitcher? Wait, where's
We
my
get to
queue?
see your
Oh,
draft strategy here.
yeah, right. Sure, why not? Okay, relief pitcher. Oh, somebody pick Matt Stram Matt Brad. Oh, Mike, breaking my heart one more time before he leaves. Oh, Matt, he's been a thorn on my side. I didn't admit it too much, but he has really pissed me off drafting next to him more than usual. Crap. All right. I don't. I like Tanner Scott, but I already have Edwin Diaz. I'm not a and it looks like Tanner Scott is not expected to get a lot of holds for some odd reason. I don't know what to make of it, but that's kind of giving me a cause for concern. So that means what? The Dodgers are just going to use him as strictly a lefty specialist, which if that's the case, then that kind of drops is stuck a little bit. But then again, I have Mastram on my queue for that same reason that he's going to get a lot of holds, even though he's also a left-handed pitcher. Hunter Gaddis is available, but
I think
he's
I looked at
hurt.
him. Yeah, forearm problem.
Yeah, that's too risky for me.
That scared me away from him.
And then for some reason, Alex Veggia is supposed to get 24 holds for the
I
same
thought
team.
about Messia too. I think he's sitting in my queue, but I just didn't end up taking him.
So yeah, it's hard to figure out how to make. I mean, and then you look at the score. We talked about the score before. Mastram is supposed to, the highest true relief pitcher out of anybody. I guess this is part of it because he has a very high strikeout per walk ratio in the 20 holds and good rate stats. How old is he? I always liked Mestram. I mean, him and I, we go back all the way to the when he was a Padre. I think he came up with the Padres. Oh no, it shows that
That
he was
sounds
at the
about
Royals
right.
at one point, but I could have sworn he was at the Padres as a prospect. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
That sounds about right for Padres with him.
Oh well, I'll be damned. He was with the Royals. I don't remember him with the Royals. This is how I remember him, Mastram with
Yeah.
the Padres, and I've been following his career ever since. So I don't know, man. I mean, I can go back to holds and see what else is out there. I mean, John Schreiber, we talked about him. We talked about Jared Coing. Um, yeah, there's Gabe
I'll give my
Spear.
I'll give my 2 cents a little more on this once you make
Sure,
your pick.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, once you make your pick.
Oh, I thought you had something to say now. My bad, my bad. I misunderstood you. I'm gonna look at the score one more time, and you got Jake Dreyer, more Dodgers pitchers. Jose
I'll get
Ferrer. I think he was with the
I'll get
Nationals
accused of
last year.
collusion if I say anything until you make your pick.
There you go. I thought that. Yeah, Ferrer was at the Nationals last year. He did pretty well. Ah, man. All right. All right. We'll just play it safe. I'll trust the score. So I've not been utilizing the score, the Fantrax score too much. I've just been manipulating the stats as I see fit, and I do know who Mastram is. I do see that I do have Gary Clevenger on cue for the Rays. What did he do last year? 82 strikeouts. Oh, Jesus Christ. That is a lot of strikeouts. Maybe I should get him instead. But we got some options, man. We got some options here. Wow, 4.5 strikeout per walk ratio. That is talk about bringing sexy back. That's amazing. 31 years old, so he's a little bit younger than Matt Stram. What did Matt Stram do last year? Maybe that should be the way to do it. Oh, that's from March 2nd, so it doesn't matter anymore. 70 strikeouts in 62 innings pitched, and he is 34 years old. But as you can see, very minuscule rate stats, so that's something to consider as well. And let me so 274, 108 whip versus Garrett Clevenger, who was at 235. All right, let's just go with Garrett Clevenger then. Screw it. How many holds? 21. 21 holds for Clevenger. How many holds for this guy? Matt Stram, 22. It's pretty safe. Is Clevenger left-handed? That's the other thing I need to wonder about.
Yes,
Yes, he is.
he's lefty.
All right, let's just go with Gary Clevenger and piss off Angel Morales. There we go. There you go. All right, let's go back to where we were. We were almost done here too. As you guys can see, there's just a handful of picks left. Um, as the slow draft continues, let's see where were we? Draft results, right?
Yep.
And this is going on for a lot longer than I was wanting it to. But hey, it's 24 rounds. I mean, there's only so many ways that we could do this, right? Plus, I had a lot of questions for you too. So thank you, Noah, for hanging in there. We got one more to go after this one, so hope you're ready to go another 2.5 hours. Hey, I'm making up for lost time, right? I haven't done a podcast since December. I got Jason Dominguez, so I'm happy with that one because freaking Mike Harvey gets Ivan Herrera, Cardinals homer pick. Yeah, I just noticed I was drafting next to Cardinal fans, Raheel in the other league, and Mike Harvey in this league, and I know I already got Christian Yelich, but I like the idea of having Ivan Herrera maybe catch 5 games this
But
year.
yeah, I was gonna say, is he no longer a catcher?
He's not qualifying this year. He's only a DH only, so he can only be
I
using a
was
util slot.
gonna say like Pajes and
Well,
that other guy that hit our catcher with his bat last year. Can't remember his
yeah.
name.
And then
Pajes and some other guy.
yeah, Pedro Pajes and well, Herrera got hurt last year and
Yeah.
wasn't able to catch anymore, but he's been kind of on the radar for the Cardinals for a long time as the heir apparent. Well, out of many heir apparents to Yadier Molina, I remember uh, was Andrew Kanizer was one of those guys for a long time. Was
Mhm.
Carson Kelly an heir apparent too at one point? I don't
I
remember.
think he was highly touted prospect at one point.
Oh, there you Yoel Pozo. Yeah, this is the guy you were
Yep.
talking about. Yeah.
That's the guy that swung really wide and hit Carson Kelly in the head.
Yeah, and then Wilson Contreras got hit by someone too, so kind of poetic justice there. But yeah, Hunter Green, this might be a game changer this late in the
Yep.
draft, but it is very concerning that once again he has an elbow issue, right? Or
Something like that.
a bone chips issue on his elbow. Jesus Christ, this poor
Won't be
kid can't.
available till July.
26 years old. Uh, oh, remember we were talking about Jake Mangum in one of the chats because he's actually John Mangum, former Bears safety or cornerback, defensive back,
Yeah.
John Mangum's kid. That's pretty cool. I like Miguel Vargas. Just I don't know. Hopefully he can take a step in the right direction this upcoming season. Uh, Marcelo Meyer, kind of a post-hype sleeper prospect pick. I love Christian Javier. That's a good pick by James. And then Justin Steele. So this is the part of the draft where people are starting to take more and more chances on these injured guys like Shane Bieber in the 23rd round. Hey, look at this. Javier Baez is also going to Henry's team. So he's just picking up all the former Cubs players, all the Puerto Ricans that he can find.
Mhm.
If I keep talking here. Anybody that sticks out to you in the 23rd round? Because I can talk forever about these guys.
That's the middle one, right? The 23rd round.
Yeah, this one right here.
So I saw. Yeah, I think Chase Mydroff could be sneaky good, especially for the rate stats.
I love him a
Maybe
lot.
not, maybe not slugging too much, but on base is
Yeah.
solid.
I
I
don't know
had
that.
him last year.
Yeah. I mean,
Pretty decent.
he's a pesky hitter, high contact. I
Steal
know
some
70.
bases.
Was that?
Steal some bases.
Yeah, and he's still trying to find his footing in Major League Baseball. He's striking out once every six at bats, which is pretty damn good. I mean, we've seen some really bad uh strikeout per at bats or whatever that stat is called. And then this is the first one where we've seen it that is well beyond the three or four at bats per strikeout or whatever it's called. So every six at bats he strikes out. So that's pretty damn decent. It's actually more better than decent. It's pretty damn good. But yeah, he lacks pop on his bat, but he's a little guy too. 5'9". I guess that's pretty tall, but compared to other players in the league, he looks pretty short. But he makes up for a high contact rate, um, sneaky speed. Just he's just a traditional ball player, a ball player's ball player, right? So, uh, Tristan, and you know what? And I was thinking about him too, Mydroth, but Jacob did me a favor. Now I don't have to think about it, and I can just get Tristan Cassis. I know I got a lot of first basemen, but maybe I could trade one of these guys. If Tristan Cassis comes back and is able to do the things that he was starting to do when he was healthy with the Red Sox, uh, yeah, look at this. 856
What,
in 2023 ops, 800 ops last year before he got hurt. What were you gonna
what do
say
you
over
think
there?
they're gonna? What do you think they're gonna do with Casas this year if he's healthy? DH? You have
Probably.
such a logjam in the outfield. You figure one of those outfielders are going to get a DH spot, and you got newly acquired Wilson Contreras playing first base. So I don't really know where you play Casas at this point.
I don't think he's playing outfield. I can tell you that much.
Feels
There's
like
no
they've
way he's
given
playing.
up on him at this point
Oh
with
no,
getting Contreras.
you're not. You don't give up on a guy like Tristan Casas. You can't do it. You can't. I mean, how old is he? He's like 26 years old, isn't he? Let me see.
I
Yeah,
think so.
he's only 26 years old, and he's still like the future of the team. He has a good 6'4", 244 pounds. If these numbers are correct, I mean, he's built like a quintessential power hitting first baseman. So he should be back by either May or June, which now I kind of regret making that pick. But I mean, this is a high upside type of pick. And the because it said here on the Fantrax thing. Let me see. Expected to return May 1st. I can wait a month. Can I wait 2 months? I don't know if I can because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need those injury slots for the pitchers, right? So, but I mean, Tristan Casas, I love that potential. I really do. Now, to your question, what do you do? Because you're at a point where now Masataka Yoshida is on your bench. That's how deep
Yep.
they are. And you need a guy like Andrew Monasterio and Isaac Kiner Falefa because they play multiple positions, and you need a backup catcher. So what do you do, right? That's a good question. Uh, because you got Wilson Contreras, Jaron Durant. Why is Jaron Durant at DH? That's weird. Well, I guess you could sit down Rafaela, who's a very inconsistent player, right? He's a very inconsistent player. You can sit him down, get Jaron Durant in center field, and then you put Casas at DH. So maybe that's the way
Yeah,
to
you could.
go. But then you see the projections from Rafaela, 18 home runs, 21 stolen bases. How do you justify sitting him down? But at the same time, Rafaela, very inconsistent in terms of the rate stats. Although 731 is pretty good, but 97 WRC plus, that's 3% below league average. So I don't know. I think it's a pretty simple solution for me as far as I'm concerned. But that's just me. That's the way I would do it. So you bench Rafaela or you send him down to the minors. You bring up Casas when he's healthy, you put him in DH, and then Jaron Durant goes back to center field.
I think it all
Uh,
depends on how well Rafael is hitting by the time Casas is ready to come back.
he's just too wild, man. Rafaela is too wild for me. He's just swings a lot, doesn't make a lot of contact, but very explosive player. Very explosive.
Valuable,
I'm not gonna
valuable in
deny that.
center field.
I'm sorry, what?
He's very valuable defensively in center field.
He's versatile. Yeah, he could play multiple
One of the
positions. Yeah.
one of the best center fielders in the game, not named PCA.
That is also true. Harrison Bader is also pretty decent. You got him, Harrison Bader, pretty decent
I
defensive
liked
center
him as a
fielder.
bench guy last year.
Yeah, I've always liked them too. It just, it, I don't know. He just, I don't know. He could be so inconsistent, and every team he goes
Health
to, they
issues
always have
early
a
on.
backup plan. What?
He had some. I think he had some health issues early on too.
That is also true. Yeah, you're right about that. Aside from that, I mean, like Anthony Volpe might be a bounce back year. Shane Bieber's hurt once again, but he this is a guy who just knows how to pitch, so we could be patient. Brandon Fat, I think they also told him to just throw it down the middle, and he's gotten mixed results. Not as good results as Ryan Nelson. Brenton Doyle, that's another counting stats guy, but we all know what his issue is that he gets low rate stats. I think last year he got a on base percentage below 300. Ugh, yes, he did. Yes,
Hate to
he
see that in
did.
Colorado.
Ugh, that's disgusting. No, no, no. Dulles Garcia, there's another guy who gets a very low on base percentage. Now he's with the Phillies. Yeah, 271 on base percentage. And the days where he was getting like a lot of home runs and stolen bases are pretty much gone. Although projections still like him though. The Fantrax projections still like him. And we finished up. We talked about Aaron having like 20 million relief pitchers. I like the Joey Cantillo pick. I like the Matt Shaw pick as a sneaky back end corner infielder. Not
He should
big.
get more defense eligibility as the season goes on because they're gonna use him all over the place now.
Yeah, I like him. Stolen base potential, gets a lot of contact, high contact rate. So there's a lot of promise here. But he does like a little bit of pop. Did he get a lot of doubles last year? 21 doubles, I guess. That's pretty good to combine
I
that
think
with the
his
13
striking
home
gets
run.
up too.
Yeah, strikeouts are pretty decent. Let me double check that. So 393 at bats divided by 94 strikeouts. Yeah, I mean he knows the strike zone. He strikes out every four at bats, which that's about
Yeah,
right.
not too bad.
It's better than the three at bats that we were seeing from some of these other guys. Ryan McMahon, all right, he's still a thing. Cool. And I told you I got pissed off at Mike Harvey because that's the guy I wanted, Matt Brash. But we saw Gary Clevenger, no slouch there. Marcel Ozuna going to Sean's team because of course he is. That's a Sean pick. That is a Sean
Could
pick if
be
I ever seen one.
could be solid, especially for this late in the draft. That's not a terrible pick.
Yeah, I think if I didn't have Christian Yelich, I would have gotten Marcel Ozuna. But Yeah, last year he just kind of left a lot of bitter taste in people's mouth. But he's still 94 walks, 21 home runs. I mean, it's not the 35 plus that he was doing in the last 2 years with the Atlanta Braves, but and it's still 355 on base percentage that makes him kind of valuable. And he did kind of turn the corner late last as the year went on last year. I dropped him, and then of course he started doing well when I
Hmm.
dropped him. I mean, look at this game against the Nationals: 3 hits, 2 runs scored, 1 walk, no strikeouts. What else we
Braves were
got?
in a tough spot almost all year, though.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Anyway, it's getting late. That's the draft. We still got 3 more players, 4 more picks to go, but this it is what it is. A lot of these players are gonna get dropped and as we get closer to the season. But any last words from you before I let you go here, Noah?
No, I think that's it.
How do you like your chances this year? You're good. You think you're gonna compete this year? You're gonna win the championship? What's up?
I think I could compete this year.
Okay, because we're only doing 6 teams for the playoffs, and the other 6 teams they got to play for first pick
Yeah,
next season.
I took the last spot, I think, last year, so I definitely have room to improve this year.
All right, let's take a.
Get more accustomed to drafting for the two period league this year. I think I will better prepared for the season.
Well, you're already in trouble at catcher, but you're gonna get Edgar Quero at your second catching slot with high contact catcher that he is. So we'll see if that produces for you. You know, the pretty good infield. I like Michael Bush as your corner infield because I was trying to get Michael Bush and Colson Montgomery on my corner infield and middle infield slots. That didn't happen. Outfield is pretty good. Just depends if Suzuki's healthy. Pete Crow Armstrong is such a wild card though. Highly raw, athletic type of player, but he's definitely lacks in skills. These are projections. Yes, so he's projected to get a 296 on base percentage, which is very yucky. But
Yeah,
you got a bunch of guys like Edgar Quero, Matt Shaw, high contact, high on base guys. I think. Oh, I thought you had Chase Midroth. No, that was the other guy who had Chase Midroth. JP Crawford is supposed to get a high on base percentage. And then you got an outfield that is might be in Harrison Bader and Tyler O'Neill that might get you some big power numbers or some decent counting stats. Double digit stolen bases for Harrison Bader if things work out for
it
him.
might get one of those guys might get dropped if Owen Casey starts playing well.
Yeah, yeah. That's another thing is if Owen Casey lives up to potential, then that's another uh, key bat for you coming out of your minor leagues. Rotation looks good. Relief pitching is decent. Just depends if Hader can stay healthy. Edward Cabrera is a sneaky pick at your wild card slot at pitching. Not the rest of your bench, except for maybe Jack Patrick, is kind of questionable in my book.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
do love Carlos Rodon, but yeah, I'm not sure about that injury, elbow injury. Jesus Christ, and he's out.
Late pick. I might drop him if I have to. I think there's some prospects that might take his spot if for some reason he goes down for the year.
Mick Abel is the one that kind of stands out. Rhett Lauder is another guy we've been kind of waiting on. Jackson Wiggins, you mentioned before. And then Carlos Rodon, if anything, can go in your injured slot. So, anyway,
Yeah.
I gotta get going. Otherwise, we'll
Yep.
talk for another 3 hours. I just wanted to highlight your team since you're the guest of the show. Let's finish it up. Noah, thank you so much for being on the air with me today.
Yeah.
We got one more to go. We got the baseball total basis podcast draft to wrap up as well. That one's 30 rounds, so we'll try to our best to go faster in that one. But like I said, it's been a while, so I had a lot of things to say. We had a lot of things to say. Anyway,
Yep.
Noah,
For
thank you so
sure.
much. That's Noah Miller over there. I'm Felipe Milicio. Thank you for listening. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.